Chapter 208. Chapter 208. Divine King Red Cloud descends Salai. Chapter 208. Divine King Red Cloud descends Salai. Stop. It was Mu Jiuhuang. Hearing Mu Jiuhuang's voice, Li Wuxia frowned slightly, but she didn't stop. She had to kill these ants. He had been beaten up by a small fry on the Tianyuan continent, so he had to seek justice. Boom! The mountain-like palm continued to slam down on the great emperor. Help, I don't want to die. Help! The great emperors closed their eyes helplessly and shouted for help. However, all of them knew that in front of this terrifying pressure, almost no one was their match. No one could save them. Damn it, you can't hear me, right? Mu Jiuhuang was furious. These people were used to build a house for their master. Now that they were killed, what about the repair work of the small courtyard? Mu Jiuhuang was a dignified empress, so she naturally didn't lack the momentum to retaliate. Even Li Wuxia couldn't help but tremble. She was obviously intimidated by his aura. You an ant, you deserve to die. Li Wuxia realized that she had been intimidated by Mu Jiuhuang's aura just now and instantly flew into a rage out of humiliation. The huge palm print in the void turned around and slapped towards Mu Jiuhuang. Boom! The terrifying vital essence giant hand directly crushed down on Mu Jiuhuang. He die for me, you ant, you deserve to die. Li Wuxia roared. She was sure that her palm would definitely kill Mu Jiuhuang. Very quickly, this mountain-like palm print directly slapped down on Mu Jiuhuang. The huge force shattered the ground, and a huge pit appeared under the ground. The pit was bottomless and extremely dark. Smoke and dust filled the sky. Ha 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 ha, he's dead, right? You dare to order me around? You still dare to scare me? Do you think you can scare me? An ant from the lower realm, you deserve to die. Li Wuxia shouted with a sinister smile on her face. Veins were popping out on her neck. It's true that I'm scaring you. Suddenly, Mu Jiuhuang's voice rang out again from behind Li Wuxia. What? When Li Wuxia heard Mu Jiuhuang's voice, she was so frightened that she took a dozen steps back. However, because of her panic, she staggered and fell to the ground. Aren't you not afraid? Mu Jiuhuang smiled faintly. Her red lips curled up and her eyes were filled with contempt. She knew this person. She had heard from the red-tail-bottomed monkey that he was from the divine realm. However, he was beaten up by perfected Qing Yun and the others. You sneak attack. It doesn't count, it doesn't count. If you have the ability, take another attack from me. Li Wuxia said in a panic. Two hands were like hungry tigers pouncing on food. Two huge true essence handprints fell on Mu Jiuhuang. In an instant, the wind and clouds surged, and the surrounding hills began to collapse. Waves surged on the sea, directly raising huge waves that were hundreds of feet tall. One want you dead. Li Wuxia was furious. Why? The people from the lower realm were going to slap him in the face one after another. He was going to be by Sir God Seven Zither's side and become a Deqian divine lord. Boom! The two gray palm prints merged together, and even the remaining power made the great emperors beside them unable to stand up. So boring. Mu Jiuhuang's two fingers were put together, forming the shape of a chess piece. In an instant, two large golden fingers appeared in the sky. Kacha! In an instant, the golden fingers directly pinched the two gray palms together. Then, Mu Jiuhuang exerted a little force, and the two gray palms instantly exploded and disappeared into thin air. What was that? How was this possible? I'm using my full strength. Quote. Li Wuxia was shocked. These people are going to build houses for us. Leave, I won't kill you. Mu Jiuhuang said indifferently. She was extremely satisfied with her attack just now. This was a divine power that she had comprehended by observing the posture of the heaven-swallowing dog. High-tier divine power. Looks like this place is indeed a forbidden area. Who is the strongest existence in this forbidden area? Ask him to come and see me. At this moment, Qi Qin's voice sounded. He gently stroked the strings of the zither with a calm expression. Get master to see you. You wish. Mu Jiuhuang rolled her eyes at him and called out to the great emperors. You guys, come back with me to build a house. Those great emperors were confused. They were great emperors, and they were actually being asked to build houses. But now, if they didn't leave, they might lose their lives. After hesitating for seconds, the great emperor's present chose to follow Mu Jiahuang to build a house. Then let's go. Mu Jiahuang counted the number of people. There were about 30 people, including Tang Ritian, Taoist Xingyan, Kong Xiang, and the others. There were exactly 50 people. Just like that, Mu Jiahuang brought everyone, and was about to leave. Clang! The sound of a solemn zither was heard. The musical note turned into an invisible blade light that slashed the ground in front of him, tearing the first domain into two. I can let you leave here alive. However, if the most powerful existence in this world doesn't come to see me after 3 hours, then 1 foot 11 inches destroys sect after sect. Divine Lord Seven Zither gently stroked his zither as he sat upright on the spot. His expression was calm, but beneath his calmness, there seemed to be a monstrous killing intent that could not be disobeyed. The great emperors all shivered. There was nothing they could do. Qi Qin's power was too terrifying. He could easily take their lives. It was impossible for them not to be afraid. Let's go. Mu Jiahuang replied casually, and left with everyone. Was there something wrong with this person's brain? How could a noob be so arrogant? Mu Jiahuang really couldn't understand. Ever since that day, the spiritual energy of the Tianyuan continent had become extremely dense. Everyone's cultivation had experienced a great breakthrough. With the books that their master had given them, even they themselves were not sure of their current strength. He just looked at the person playing the zither in front of him. As long as he used the second divine power of the Earth Dog Fist, he could completely defeat him. It was not even troublesome. So what if he came from the divine realm? Stronger than master? Mu Jiahuang said disdainfully in her heart. After Mu Jiahuang left, God King Hongyan slowly descended from the sky. As a godly king, it was still somewhat difficult for him to travel between the two realms. He had paid a huge price to come down from the immortal realm. The spiritual energy in the lower realm was actually so dense? The Red Cloud Snake King's expression changed. He frowned and scanned the space with his spiritual will. He found a trace of yellow fog in the space. What kind of spiritual energy is this? Immortal Lord Hong Yun was stunned for a moment, then her figure flashed. In the next moment, she appeared at the place where the yellow clouds were dancing, and she picked it up one by one. Chapter 209, Chapter 209. Let you understand the gap between us. _I. Chapter 209. Let you understand the gap between us. _I. What dense spiritual energy? Even the spiritual energy of the divine world is somewhat inferior in comparison? Divine King Red Cloud's face was solemn. Moreover, he felt that if he absorbed this ball of yellow fog, his cultivation would increase once again. Although it was small, a fly was still meat. Divine King Red Cloud swallowed the yellow spiritual energy. In an instant, his body shook, and the yellow fog swam through his body. The laws that he had not completely comprehended before suddenly became clear. This is simply unbelievable. What treasure is this? Divine King Red Cloud's face was filled with disbelief. Just this ball of yellow mist had allowed his cultivation to break through to this realm. If he could obtain a large amount of yellow fog, wouldn't he be able to advance further? God King Red Cloud was overjoyed, and even forgot about the forbidden area. God King Red Cloud's figure flashed, instantly turning into a stream of light and disappearing. In the courtyard, Xiao Changtian was playing chess with Alpha. Not bad, Alpha. You can spend so many stones with me now. Xiao Changtian smiled faintly. Woof woof. Alpha received his reward and nodded seriously, his face filled with joy. This was the first time Master had praised him. However, this time I only used half of the power of the first layer. Keep up the good work. Xiao Changtian smiled. Wuh! Alpha lowered his head again, his face filled with disappointment. Master is actually using less power. Then how was he supposed to play against Master? Doubtful dog lives. JPG. Haha. Looking at Alpha's aggrieved and cute appearance, Xiao Changtian rubbed his dog head and smiled happily. I'm in a good mood today, so it's suitable for playing the piano. Xiao Changtian said lightly. Yi Fan, go to my room and take out my zither. Yes, sir. Yi Fan, who was chopping firewood, nodded when he heard that. He put the axe on his waist and then walked into Xiao Changtian's room, taking out the long zither. You guys should sit down too. Today, I will play a song on the zither. Xiao Changtian looked at Wang Miaoshou, Li Taibai, and the others. Master wants to play the zither? Su Daji asked in confusion. Yes, I want to hear Senior play the zither. I want to be the first. Chu Iren was the first to run over, her face filled with joy. Master wants to play the zither. Take our baby over to listen. Under the influence of Master's zither, we can cultivate our talent from a young age. Li Taibai caressed her bulging belly. Being stared at by everyone, Bai Ling Shuang's face turned red. Stop fooling around. There are so many people. Bai Ling Shuang quickly moved away. Di Wuzheng. You dog, you actually made me eat dog food. I want to cut ties with you. Di Wuzheng said with gritted teeth. However, the next moment, just as he finished cursing, he felt a cold, killing intent descend on his head. In his sea of consciousness, a heaven-swallowing dog that used the stars as a chessboard suddenly walked over and looked down at him coldly. What about the dog? Aren't you happy to eat dog food? The heaven-swallowing dog asked coldly. Its powerful aura made Di Wuzheng unable to breathe, and he hurriedly begged for mercy. Senior, I was wrong. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about that dog Li Taibai. Di Wuzheng hurriedly explained. However, the more he explained, the more solid and fierce the heaven-swallowing dog's aura became. Senior, I was wrong, Di Wuzheng said hurriedly. Only when Xiao Changtian's zither music sounded did the heaven-swallowing dog retract its aura. Clang! In the beginning, Xiao Changtian was just testing his zither. After all, he hadn't used it much in the years he had been here. He didn't know if it was still useful. Not bad, there's actually no dust falling. Xiao Changtian looked at the dust-free zither, which seemed to have been renovated, and nodded in satisfaction. Clang! Immediately after, the ethereal and deep sound of the zither rang out again. It was melodious and melodious. Everyone gradually became immersed in it, as if they had seen a distant valley. The sound of the zither lingered in the air. Xiao Changtian gradually entered a state of selflessness as he played. The zither. Just like that, the news slowly spread out from the street where the small courtyard was located to the entire Daong town. Slowly, the further it went, the wider it became. However, Xiao Changtian knew nothing about this. Whether it was mortals or cultivators, as long as they heard this zither sound, they all fell into silence. The fatigue, illness, and pain of mortals disappeared in an instant. As for the cultivators, under the sound of the zither, the realm barrier in their dantian instantly began to collapse and disintegrate, as if it was formed by a canal. Their cultivation directly broke through the realm barrier. Wang. In countless sects, cultivators broke through one after another. In the Qingyan sect, perfected Qing Yun and Lian Shinin, who were doing sit-ups on the big bed, were in high spirits when Lian Shinin suddenly sat up and pushed perfected Qing Yun away. She closed her eyes and began to listen to the song seriously. What a profound song. Lian Shinin was intoxicated. The long zither on the ring flew out automatically, and the strings followed suit. The spiraling sound of the zither seemed to have become the only sound in the world. The zither music continued forward, passing through mountains and seas. Gradually, it filled the entire continent. He even came to the first domain. The moment he arrived in the first domain, Divine Lord Qi Qin's zither began to tremble, as if it was trying to resist the sound. However, after struggling for less than a second, the long zither started vibrating. Sir God 7 zither frowned. He stretched out his hands and pressed them on the zither. A white light appeared on his hands, wanting to press the zither down and stop it from vibrating. However, buzz! A musical note shot out, turning into a saber beam that instantly cut his face, leaving a wound. Pust! A bloody wound appeared on Qi Qin's face. Damn it! Are you challenging me? Or is he challenging me with the zither Dao that I'm best at? Sir God 7 Zither was furious. He believed that the existence in this forbidden land was challenging him. Won't accept this challenge, Sir God 7 Zither said angrily. Then, he forcefully used his true essence to suppress the zither. Although the zither was still restless, he had already controlled it and began to pluck the strings. Since you're challenging me with the Tao of music, I'll let you understand the gap between us. Between you and me, I will let you understand who is the ant. Sir God 7 Zither raged and started to counterattack. Chapter 210, Divine Lord Qi-Qin defeated. Chapter 210, Divine Lord Qi-Qin defeated. Clang! Divine Lord Qi-Qin placed 2 fingers on the strings of the zither. The white light pressed down on the strings, preventing them from moving. Then his pinky played a musical note. The note was like a blade. The moment it appeared, it tore the space in front of it. A mere lower realm forbidden land dares to be so impudent? Didn't that mean that fireflies couldn't compete with the bright moon for brilliance? Sir God 7 Zither said angrily. His face was filled with excitement. It had been many years since anyone had challenged him. A musical note moved. In an instant, the space was filled with murderous sounds. This note turned from 1 into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8. It was as if it could be replicated infinitely, and it instantly spread out into the space in front of him. Dang dang dang. Qi-Qin Divine Lord's notes stopped Xiao Changtian's music on the sea. The two collided on the surface of the sea, and thousands of terrifying auras tore through space. Even the surface of the sea was torn apart by the collision of these 2 extreme forces. At the edge of the chasm, whether it was the shark demon emperor or the ordinary fish, they were all torn apart by this power. In the courtyard, Xiao Changtian was intoxicated by the sound. It was as if the entire world was filled with this kind of sound. Endless sounds tore through space. Even the airflow in the space seemed to have changed. Xiao Changtian frowned slightly. He felt that his zither music seemed to be blocked by something. How did this happen? Xiao Changtian was confused. He twirled the zither slowly, moving his 10 fingers on the zither and changing the notes. He admired it for a while. A gentle sound rang out from the sea where Sir God Qi-Qin was. The gentle sound of the zither was like Tai Chi. Soft, melodious, nowhere to start. This caused Divine Lord Qi-Qin's musical note attacks to be rendered useless. Test me? Then you have to bear the price of probing, Sir God 7 Zither said angrily. Because Xiao Changtian's zither music had become soft, he had gained time, and could use all the zither strings in a short time. Clang! Qi-Qin Divine Lord played extremely heavily this time. The huge sound of the zither was like a raging wave that tore through everything in an instant. His zither music turned into a ferocious beast that shattered everything in front of him in an instant. It moved towards Xiao Changtian's soft music. See if I don't tear you apart. Then understand the difference between you and me. Sir God 7 Zither laughed maniacally, his expression ferocious. To him, as long as he could tear everything apart and defeat the strongest existence in the Forbidden Zone, he would be able to become a god king. Moreover, the godly king that he advanced to was not an ordinary godly king. If he, Sir God Qi-Qin, wanted to kill a godly monarch, he could do it. If he became a god king, then he would be the true number 1 person in the divine realm. God monarch realm experts were invincible. Not far away, God King Red Cloud was looking for the yellow mist, and happened to sense the 2 extreme forces on the surface of the sea. What a powerful force! There's another Divine King descending? Divine King Red Cloud was still searching for the yellow mist, but she stopped at that moment. The 2 forces in front of him were too terrifying. Even Sir God Hongyan felt a sense of fear. This was because this power was actually on par with his. Let's wait and see here. God King Red Cloud chose to observe and wait patiently, following his heart. Boom! The 2 terrifying forces collided, causing the entire sea to surge violently. It was extremely dangerous. Let's see how long you can last. 7 Zither God laughed, because he could feel that the soft zither music in the space before him was about to disappear. In the courtyard, Xiao Changtian closed his eyes and sat quietly. His furrowed brows relaxed. So it's just some noise. Then can't I just speak louder? Xiao Changtian smiled faintly and played his zither. In an instant, he raised the pitch of his voice. Ha ha ha, collapse, collapse. Daring to compete with Sir Divine Lord Qi Qin and Guqin Dao was simply courting death. Li Wuxuang looked at the soft zither music that was about to disappear on the sea and congratulated. Sir God Qi Qin was delighted to be flattered. Destroy! Sir God Seven Zither shouted loudly. His zither music transformed into the most terrifying saber light. The saber light shattered space and shattered everything. He wanted to completely shatter Xiao Changtian's zither music. However, at the next moment, the originally soft and weak zither music suddenly raised its pitch. Bang! All of a sudden, the zither sound and saber light shattered into countless pieces. What? Sir God Qi Qin was shocked, and his face was filled with horror. Everything that was happening was too terrifying. There was actually someone who could shatter his zither music in the sound path. It was simply unbelievable. In an instant, the raised pitch was like a tsunami that surged towards Sir God Qi Qin. Buzz! In the face of this terrifying power, Divine Lord Qi Qin was unable to retaliate at all. He flew backward in an instant, and the strings on his zither broke instantly. In an instant. In just an instant. The situation on the field had completely changed. In the space in front of him, Xiao Changtian's zither music was unimpeded and continued to advance. Divine Lord. Li Wuxuang had wanted to help Divine Lord Qi Qin up, but the sound of the zither had struck his head, causing him to faint instantly. Well, there's no more noise now. Xiao Changtian, who was in the courtyard, smiled faintly. His brows relaxed, and he continued to play the zither. The sound of the zither lingered. What happened? It seems like one of the powers has been defeated. Divine King Red Cloud sensed the changes in front of her and revealed a puzzled expression. Then, his figure flashed and instantly headed to the battlefield in front of him. What is it? Sir God Qi Qin? Divine King Red Cloud turned pale with fright. It was actually Sir God Qi Qin. It was rumored that Sir God Qi Qin had died. Moreover, what Qi Qin carried was the aura of the Forbidden Land. Could it be that Qi Qin has inherited the will of the Forbidden Land? In an instant, Divine King Red Cloud turned pale with fright. He was extremely terrified and retreated continuously. The Divine Lord Qi Qin, who had been infected, was a great threat to him. It could even kill him. But such an existence was actually knocked unconscious in the lower realm. No, that's not right. This is not a simple lower realm. This is a forbidden zone. This is another forbidden zone. Sir God Hongyun's face changed, and he fled in a panic. In an instant he disappeared. Chapter 211. Chapter 211. How dare you bully someone? Chapter 211. How dare you bully someone? Not long after Sir God Hongyun left, the head elder of the Nine-Tailed Fox clan suddenly passed by. Here, he saw Qi Qin. Then he extended his finger and pointed. A green light landed on Sir God Qi Qin's body. Sir God Qi Qin began to recover his life force. After that, Nine-Tailed Fox became the first elder and left with Sir God Qi Qin. As for Li Wuxuang, he was kicked away by the first elder of the Nine-Tailed Fox clan. Above the sea, the rolling power also calmed down, and the sea returned to calm. In Xiao Changtian's small courtyard, Mu Jiuhuang brought back the great emperors. Each and every one of them was extremely obedient in front of Xiao Changtian. She was like a kindergarten baby. You guys are in charge of expanding the backyard for me, Xiao Changtian ordered. Yes, sir. The great emperors nodded obediently. This small courtyard was filled with all kinds of terrifying auras. These terrifying auras suppressed them until they could not breathe. They felt that if they were to disobey even the slightest, they would be crushed into pieces and turned into ashes in an instant. Even if they were asked to carry bricks, they would be extremely happy. The renovation plan of the small courtyard was in full swing. Xiao Changtian was only supervising the renovation of the small courtyard. No, there are not many people. We have to find more. Xiao Changtian said lightly. Initially, he thought that 50 people would be enough. However, According to the speed of these 5 people, it was impossible to renovate the small courtyard in a short period of time. Jiao, you guys continue to work. I'm going out for a while, Xiao Changtian said lightly. He was prepared to go out and find some more people. Fai wanted to complete the renovation of the small courtyard before the new year. Only when the small courtyard was renovated could everyone not be too crowded. After saying that, he walked out with Alpha. On the other side, fuck, this is too terrifying. This is a restricted area. God King Red Cloud directly turned into a streak of light and disappeared from the Tianyuan continent in an instant, returning to the divine world. He had never expected to encounter a forbidden area in the lower realm. That was a forbidden zone for life. It was the place where the strongest existence in the divine world had fallen. The monstrous killing intent and terrifying laws contained within were enough to crush a mere godly king to death. Furthermore, someone like Sir God Qi Qin was able to complete the inheritance and fusion with the forbidden land. He already possessed the strength of a godly monarch. However, Qi Qin was still knocked out despite possessing such strength. This matter is not simple. I want to discuss it with a few old friends. God King Red Cloud thought to herself. His figure turned into a stream of light and instantly disappeared from the space in front of him. In the next moment, he landed in front of a supreme temple. It was a divine hall that was shining with divine light and filled with supreme majesty. In front of the temple, there were 2 big words written, God King. Just these 2 words emitted an indescribable pressure. This terrifying pressure, as long as one was below the godly king realm, all were unable to enter. I'm here. Divine King Red Cloud stood in front of the 2 words, Divine King, and said indifferently. Then, a rainbow bridge appeared in the space in front of him. The rainbow bridge descended in front of Deity King Red Cloud. Divine King Red Cloud stepped on the rainbow bridge and walked into the divine hall. My old friends, I have discovered a supreme forbidden zone. It is extremely terrifying. Even if it was me, I'm afraid that there's only a possibility of me dying in the forbidden area of the lower realm. Hong Yun Divine Lord said with a solemn face. However, what awaited him was not the doubts of the crowd. Instead, it was a burst of laughter. No way, Hong Yun? How many years had it been? You're actually starting to be afraid of Arichi lower realm. A yellow-haired god king said. That's right. Hong Yun, you've always liked to joke around. It's better to not joke around like this. The Black Sky Deity King said. Divine King Red Cloud, we are currently discussing the matter of realms. Don't disrupt our rhythm. If you want to tell a joke, wait for an hour. The mocking laughter of the god kings rang out one after another. In the eyes of these godly kings, the lower realm was like an ant that could be destroyed with a flip of their hands. Even if there was a forbidden zone in the lower realm, it was nothing in their eyes. In the era when the godly emperors and godly emperors appeared, their godly kings were invincible existences. The divine light was still invincible in the divine realm, let alone a mere lower realm. All the god kings present had looks of disdain on their faces. They all thought that God King Red Cloud was joking. T swear on the blood of the godly king that I definitely saw a forbidden zone in the lower realm. There's a terrifying existence in this forbidden area. It's definitely a terrifying existence. God King Red Cloud, who was in disbelief, directly forced out a drop of God King's blood. He swore on the blood of the godly king and said seriously. Until this moment. When everyone saw God King Red Cloud's grave expression, they stopped mocking her. Hongyan, are you serious? A God King truly couldn't believe it. Absolutely. Divine King Red Cloud nodded, her expression extremely grave. Let's go. We will follow you to the lower realm to take a look. That's right, that's right. With so many godly kings, even if there's a terrifying existence in the lower realm, we can still destroy this forbidden land in a short period of time. Let's go to the lower realm together. A celestial king mentioned it. Following that, many casualties had to follow Divine King Red Cloud to the lower realm. They didn't believe that there would be any terrifying forbidden zones in the next round. However, Divine King Red Cloud swore with the blood of a divine king. This matter was indeed a thorny matter for them. Let's go, let's go. Instantly, figures flew out of the God King palace. They turned into streaks of light and descended from the divine realm onto the Tianyuan continent. It's just an ordinary lower realm. What's there to be curious about? Divine King Red Cloud, you're really something. You can even make such a joke. Aren't there a few ants here? Let's go and get rid of the ants now. Amongst them, the God Kings laughed and extended their hands. A terrifying power enveloped the two cultivators beside them. Instantly, the two cultivators from the Tianyuan continent were directly captured by the God King. Aren't they just two ants? Watch me kill them. The God King laughed loudly and threw the two tribulation transcending experts out wantonly. Then he kicked them directly and lifted them up like a ball. Ah! The two tribulation transceivers revealed painful expressions on their faces as they shouted in panic. Not far away, Xiao Changtian, who was bringing Alpha to find the craftsman, also saw this scene. There are still people who dare to bully others? Chapter 212, Chapter 212, Build Me a House 1. Chapter 212, Build Me a House 1. What are you guys doing? In the future, when he saw the godly king in front of him bullying two people, and those two people were ordinary in his eyes, they had no cultivation at all. This included the God Kings. All of them were as thin as a stick. It was just because they had more people and fewer people. Yes, who are you? TM getting old and old get lost. Hee, can't you see what we're doing? Do you want to try it too? Those God Kings stared at Xiao Changtian and swept their eyes over. They found that Xiao Changtian didn't have any cultivation base or a fluctuation. He was just a mortal. A mortal dared to meddle in their affairs. You're courting death. One of the godly kings directly grabbed it with his hand, and a cruel smile appeared on his face. In his opinion, this claw of his would definitely be able to turn Xiao Changtian into dust. You guys really need to be educated. I'll teach you a good lesson today. Xiao Changtian was furious. The thing he hated the most in his life was bullying others. Not to mention this kind of mortal bullying mortal. In this world of immortal cultivators, mortals had already been exploited by immortal cultivators. But these mortals actually wanted to fight among themselves. He couldn't bear it. Xiao Changtian rolled up his sleeves and walked towards the dozen godly kings. His physical strength had improved again, although he might not be able to defeat an immortal cultivator. However, facing a few mortals, he felt that he could still easily deal with them. Bang! Xiao Changtian used his fist to meet the God King's claw. In an instant, the sound of bones breaking could be heard. The God King's entire arm had been turned into a crescent-like shape, and he let out a painful cry. The God King turned into a rubber ball and was sent flying. What? Seeing this scene, everyone present turned pale with fright. This ordinary mortal in front of him had actually sent God King white eyebrows flying with a single punch. No, this person was definitely not a mortal. It was very likely that he was a God King who had hidden his cultivation. Just like them, they had descended from the divine realm to the mortal realm. Let's attack together. 11. Attack together. Instantly, the group of godly kings reacted. This person in front of them was not simple. They definitely could not go up and fight him alone. Each of them erupted with their aura, wanting to unleash their full strength. Woof! At this moment, Alpha roared from the side. Following that, a huge divine dog appeared in the minds of these godly kings. That divine dog used the stars as chess pieces, and the vast universe as a chessboard. Then, it walked out of the chaos, and opened its bloody mouth, as if it wanted to devour the sky and the moon. The terrifying aura was like a huge mountain, suppressing them until they could not breathe. Even the cultivation in his dantian had condensed. Bang 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 bang. After that, all the godly kings were sent flying by Xiao Changtian's punch like rubber balls. Ah! Countless godly kings fell to the ground. If they were not godly kings, they'd probably have died immediately. They shouted crazily. His voice was filled with fear and pain. It hurts so much. A god king shouted out. His face was pale, as if he was going to die in the next moment. Thank you for saving me, senior. Thank you for saving me, senior. The two tribulation-passing cultivators were saved. The yellow-haired man thanked Xiao Changtian. They did not expect this either. The mortal in front of him actually had such great power. He was actually able to defeat an expert they thought was invincible. All right, you two can go first. Xiao Changtian waved his hand and let the two of them leave first. He had to educate these people lying on the ground today. Let them understand how it feels to be bullied. Bang, 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 bang. A few more punches landed. Those godly kings lying on the ground directly fainted and lost consciousness. Isn't he too weak? Xiao Changtian was confused. However, he immediately felt relieved. These people in front of him were just mortals, and he had the system's support for martial arts and physical points. It was already very good that these mortals could withstand a few of his punches. However, if he were to face those immortal cultivators, he would definitely have no chance of winning. Sigh, this stupid system still won't let me start on the path of invincibility. Xiao Changtian couldn't help but curse in his heart. If he could activate his invincible cultivation right now, he would definitely be able to bring everyone on the Tianyuan continent to the divine realm. Several hours passed. These god icings did not wake up either. How troublesome. I even had to wake them up. Xiao Changtian couldn't help but complain. Following that, he took out the silver needles that he carried with him and smashed them on the heads of the dozen or so godly kings a few times. These godly kings began to wake up. Don't come over. I was wrong. Don't come over. Then Noodles, please let us go. All the god kings present knelt on the ground one after another. Their faces were filled with fear as they hurriedly begged for mercy. In their eyes, Xiao Changtian was like a devil. Humph! Weren't you all very arrogant just now? The comparison of their attitudes before and after is simply two different kinds of people. Do you know how it feels to be bullied now? Do you still dare to bully others in the future? Xiao Changtian snorted coldly, his eyes fixed on the dozen people in front of him. The dozen or so God Emperor realm experts trembled when they saw this. He hurriedly begged for mercy on the ground. I understand. We won't dare to bully anyone in the future. Please let us go. We can agree to any condition you want. Yes, no matter what the conditions are. A group of god kings hurriedly said. To them, the most important thing was to be able to survive. In front of such a terrifying monster, they were willing to hand out their own life treasures. Forget it. I didn't mean to target you. Since you're willing to pay a price, then go and repair my house. Xiao Changtian said lightly. Repair the house. The dozen or so godly kings were stunned, and their expressions instantly changed drastically. That was because they remembered that God King Red Cloud had once told them that this was a forbidden area. To build a house in the forbidden zone, didn't that mean that it had to be in the forbidden zone? Although they were godly monarchs, they did not have the guts to enter the restricted area either. The forbidden zone was too dangerous. It was so dangerous that they did not even dare to imagine it. Senior, can we not go? A god king could not help but ask. This is not up to you. Xiao Changtian laughed. Chapter 213 Shall we eat fish? _L. Chapter 213. Shall we eat fish? _L. Very quickly. Under Xiao Changtian's lead, the god kings arrived at the courtyard. Go and do it with them. If there's anything you don't know, ask the foreman. Xiao Changtian pointed at the heaven-building sect elder, who was commanding the scene. Repair the house. Until this moment. Only then did the god kings reveal expressions of realization. It turned out that it was really just to repair the house. To repair the house in front of him. Senior doesn't plan to kill us? Senior actually asked us to only repair the house. What is going on? I'm not sure. The great emperors communicated with each other through true origin voice transmission. To them, this was simply unbelievable. Such a terrifying senior was actually in such a dilapidated courtyard. And now, he was using a few ants to build a house. They were puzzled. However, he didn't dare to not do it. In front of such a terrifying senior, they were only ants. They had to carry out the senior's orders. An existence that could become a godly king. Each and every one of them were not simple people. They all imitated the movements of the great emperors, and learned how to build houses in a very short period of time. Not bad, you're quite fast. Xiao Changtian nodded in satisfaction. He did not expect this. The dozen or so people he brought back were actually good at repairing houses. Looks like one have good taste. In the small courtyard, the renovation of the house was in full swing. Meanwhile, in the Nine-Tailed Fox clan, Sir God Qichin woke up. Where am I? Sir God Qichin's voice was cold as he stared at the Nine-Tailed Fox First Elder. Divine Lord, this is the Nine-Tailed Fox clan. The Nine-Tailed Fox race's First Elder replied. He felt suffocated and unable to breathe just by facing Qichin's aura. Nine-Tailed Fox clan. Why did you save me? Sir God Seven Zither frowned and asked in confusion. Sir God, these are the orders of the demon god. The great elder of the Nine-Tailed Fox clan said respectfully. Demon god. Upon hearing the words demon god, Sir God Qichin was stunned. It's me. Then, a green light suddenly flew out from the palm of the Nine-Tailed Fox race's First Elder, and condensed into a phantom. The figure before him was almost identical to the demon god clone from before. I want you to help me kill someone. Chu Iran. The demon god said calmly, before conjuring a portrait of Chu Iran. All. In the small courtyard. Chu Iran, who was resting in her room, suddenly woke up with a start. She had a very scary dream. She dreamed that one day, she suddenly became someone else. Her forehead was filled with beads of sweat. She didn't know why, but the terrifying dream from when she was young came back to her. I'd better go find Senior. Chu Iran stood up and walked out of the room to look for Xiao Changtian. She was the happiest when she was with Xiao Changtian. At the same time, it was also the time when she felt the safest. It seemed that as long as she stayed with Xiao Changtian, she would never be in danger. Night gradually fell. The construction in the small courtyard also stopped. Because Xiao Changtian needed to sleep at night. If the construction was carried out at night, it would disturb Xiao Changtian's sleep. What's going on in this lower realm? Why would such a terrifying person exist? What do you think? Hongyan, it's all because of you. If not for you, we wouldn't have come to the lower realm. This place is too terrifying. It's all your fault. Instantly, the dozen or so God Kings all pointed their spearheads at God King Red Cloud. To them. Now he was not thinking of escaping, but venting his anger on the Red Cloud Divine Warriors. Because there was no way for them to escape. Divine King Red Cloud was speechless. Forget it. There's no point in pursuing responsibility now. Let's focus on repairing Senior's house first. That's right. This Senior doesn't look like someone who would casually kill. We should still have a chance to escape. The two goddessings who had maintained their rationality said. Everyone could only nod helplessly. Cuckoo. Just as they nodded helplessly, Phoenix walked past them. He even rolled his eyes at them. Damn it, even a chicken dares to mock us. Kill him and eat the meat. Right, kill them and eat them. We've been godly kings for so many years, and can already fast, but we've completely forgotten what meat tastes like. Good suggestion. Go catch them. The dozen or so god kings all revealed excited expressions. To them, entering this forbidden area, and being captured to repair a house was already a bellyful of anger. But there was no place to vent. Now even a chicken dared to mock them. It was just the right time for them to have a breakthrough. I'll do it. God King Red Cloud stood out. He had been misunderstood by everyone, and now everyone was pushing all the blame onto him. He was very unhappy. He stood up, stretched out his hand and grabbed Phoenix. Hee hee, I'll stew you and eat meat in a while. Haha, God King Red Cloud laughed with pride. They might not be able to defeat the terrifying old monsters in this realm, but they could not possibly not defeat a chicken. However, the next moment he was stunned. The true source palm print that he had grabbed out was instantly shattered into powder by the phoenix's gaze. How is that possible? God King Red Cloud was stunned. She could not tell what was happening. Hongyan, can you do it? Let me catch it. The ground beside him could not stand it anymore. Divine King Red Cloud actually said that she could not even catch a chicken now. It simply disappointed them. Immediately after, the God King at the side stood up. He directly grabbed out another true essence palm print and grabbed towards the old hen. However, at the next moment, his palm print was also instantly shattered. Then in their minds, a terrifying phantom that was emitting an endless fire domain suddenly appeared. That phantom stood at the end of the heavens, causing the heavens to tremble. Phoenix. It's a phoenix. There's actually a phoenix in this place. Instantly, those godly kings directly knelt down. In front of the terrifying phantom of the phoenix, they did not have the strength to retaliate at all. However, Phoenix only rolled her eyes at them and ignored them. Let's change something to eat. Look at the golden arowana in the pond. Yes, that golden arowana. The group of divine lords echoed and grabbed at the golden arowana in the pond. Chapter 214. Senior, you were amazing last night, Ally. Chapter 214. Senior, you were amazing last night, Ally. Haha, one don't believe that I can't even catch a fish. This is a top-grade golden arowana. The meat is definitely fresh and tender. The Red Cloud Divine Net smiled confidently. Ever since he had arrived on the Tianyuan continent, he had been filled with grievance. Even as a god king, he was overjoyed just by catching a fish. However, just as his hands were about to grab the golden arowana, his entire person stopped in midair. The divine essence in his entire body dissipated, and he directly fell to the ground. Hongyan, why are you? The other god kings looked at God King Red Cloud fall to the ground and asked. But halfway through they stopped. In the void before him, a golden dragon appeared. The dragon's body was incomparably huge. Even the stars in the sky and the vast universe were like sand ants in front of the dragon. The dragon's entire body emitted a golden suppressive light. The golden light shone in the sky, dazzling and eye-catching. The dragon's eyes emitted a pressure that shook the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Over 10 godly kings directly knelt on the ground and prostrated themselves. They trembled and did not dare to get up. Spare me, divine dragon. Spare me. The god kings spoke with trembling voices. A few breaths later, the golden arowana in the pond jerked, and a ball of water splashed out, hitting the heads of the dozen or so god kings. Sensing the coldness of the pond water, the dozen or so godly kings finally felt that the terrifying aura of the giant dragon had already disappeared. The god kings were dumbfounded. In the small courtyard, the chicken was a phoenix, the golden arowana was a divine dragon, and the remaining turtle monkey. They did not dare to imagine it anymore. I'm a little sleepy. I'd better go to bed first. God King Black Heaven smiled embarrassedly. Then, he crouched down at the corner of the wall and placed his head on his legs. He hugged his head with his arms and curled up into a ball. Then he fell asleep. Cough, cough, it's very tiring to repair a house. Her back was aching a little. Sleep, sleep. The yellow-haired God King added. Then he squeezed together with the Black Sky Divine King. The two of them sat side by side, curled up into 2 balls, and slept in the corner. Yes. Sleep, sleep. The other godly kings present reacted one after another. One after another, they went to the corner and squatted down. All of you, if you guys sleep, then I'll sleep too. Deity King Red Cloud frantically apologized to the golden arowana, while crawling back to the corner of the wall. She curled herself into a ball and began to sleep. A row of godly kings curled up in the corner of the wall. If such a scene was seen by the people of the divine world, they would definitely be dumbfounded. In Xiao Changtian's room, Xiao Changtian sat on the stool speechless. Hurry up and go back to your room to sleep. Don't disturb my rest. Senior, if I'm afraid, 1 foot 11 inches sleep with you for one night. Just one night. I won't do anything to you. Chu Iren said pitifully as she lay down in bed. Aren't you afraid that I'll do something to you? Xiao Changtian was speechless. He, don't be afraid. I'll listen to Senior. If Senior wants it, I can do it too. Chu Iren's face turned red, and she buried her head under the blanket with a grin. Xiao Changtian was speechless. Then I'll leave. Xiao Changtian was speechless. This little girl was probably sick again. She was so young, but she always wanted to marry him. Although he was handsome and had an extraordinary bearing, and he looked like the handsome men in front of the screen, he was not as beastly as them. They directly attacked him. However, he himself, no way. He was a gentleman, and he definitely could not do such a beastly thing. Xiao Changtian stood up and prepared to leave. At worst, he would find another place to sleep. Although he was a gentleman was still a mortal. Moreover, he was an old virgin. A man and a woman were alone in a room with candlelight flickering. This made his blood boil. If he fainted again, wouldn't it be embarrassing? Senior, don't go. Seeing that Xiao Changtian was about to leave, Chu Iren hurriedly lifted the blanket and wanted to follow him. However, the moment she lifted the blanket, a conspicuous red undergarment appeared. Xiao Changtian felt as if 2 streams of heat were about to flow out of his nose. In an instant, he hurriedly opened the door and breathed in the cool breeze outside. He also sniffled. Only then did he feel that his blood and qi had calmed down again. You'd better go back to bed. Xiao Changtian's back was facing Chu Iren, his hands behind his back, not daring to look back. Then Senior, sleep with me. I'm scared. Chu Iren grabbed Xiao Changtian's arm and pulled him into her embrace. Xiao Changtian immediately felt 2 lumps of warmth. Hiss! He could not help but gasp. He could not take it anymore. He felt his heart beat faster. This feeling was too wonderful. LT was too sinful. Miren, hurry up and go back or I'll get angry. Xiao Changtian said in a low voice, pretending to be angry. No, you're not worthy of me sleeping, so I'll always follow you. Chu Iren was like a clingy kitten, clinging on to Xiao Changtian, not allowing him to leave. Her voice was extremely coquettish, making one's entire body go numb. When the group of great emperors squatting in the corner heard this voice, they hurriedly sealed their hearing. What if something happened next? They did not dare to eavesdrop. You. All right, but we agreed that we'll share half the bed each. You can't cross the line. Xiao Changtian felt the warmth on his arm and accepted it helplessly. Good. Hearing this, Chu Iren agreed with a smile. She ran to the bed and slept in the back. Seeing this, Xiao Changtian nodded his head in disappointment and went to sleep on the first half of the bed. Behave yourself. You can't enter my bed in the middle of the night, okay? Xiao Changtian warned again. Got it, Senior. Good night. With that, Chu Iren went to sleep, leaving Xiao Changtian stunned. However, he still closed his eyes and chanted the heart-cleansing spell in his mind to suppress the temptation that came from his nose. Gradually, Xiao Changtian also fell asleep. The next day, the sun was high in the sky. Xiao Changtian slowly woke up. He didn't know why, but the first thing he felt when he woke up was that he was a little tired, and his vision was a little blurry. He tried to open his eyes, only to discover that Chu Iren was lying on top of him. I won't. That was impossible. Didn't do it, right? Xiao Changtian was stunned. He didn't have any memory of this, but Chu Iren was lying on his chest like a kitten, drooling from the corner of her mouth, looking infatuated. Senior, you're really amazing. Just as Xiao Changtian was feeling puzzled, Chu Iren's voice suddenly rang out. Chapter 215 Yi Fan splits the sky 1. Chapter 215 Yi Fan splits the sky 1. Xiao Changtian was speechless. I know I'm very powerful, but what did I do to you last night? Xiao Changtian asked. However, Chu Iren didn't answer him. Instead, she heard 2 snores. So you were talking in your sleep. You scared me. Xiao Changtian heaved a sigh of relief and slowly placed Chu Iren's body back on the bed. He then looked down at the blanket and realized that he was still wearing his clothes. He instantly realized that it was a false alarm. Ding! He would give it to the first person who came to his door after 29 days. Mission reward, physical attribute point +1. Punishment for mission failure. Deduct all of the host's assets, including but not limited to gold, furniture, bookstores, etc. Xiao Changtian had just gotten out of bed when the system notification sounded. Deduct my gold? Damn system, you want to die together with me, right? Xiao Changtian was furious. Gold was all he had. How dare the stupid system deduct his gold? At most, they would die together. Ding! The system notified him that there would be a penalty for failing the mission. The time limit was 1 month. The system notification sounded again. Oh, 1C. Xiao Changtian calmed down and looked at the mission carefully. There's also a reward of physical points. Why can't I just get 100 points or something? What was so little? Give me more so that I can at least defeat the lowest level of chi refinement cultivators, right? I can only educate those weak ordinary people in the courtyard. Sigh. Xiao Changtian muttered and sighed. However, no matter how small a fly was, it was still meat. It was good to have more physical attributes. It would be a waste not to have them. The quest to unlock the new skill, Xiao Changtian said. As for Supreme Buddha jumps over the wall, it was actually a dish that Xiao Changtian had developed himself after he had mastered his culinary skills. Unfortunately, the raw materials were too difficult to find, so he had never really made it. But this time he had to do it. Forget it. Write down the names of the raw materials, and let my disciples find them. If they can't find them, they can ask the great sun mortal. Xiao Changtian said lightly. Then, he picked up the phoenix feather pen and wrote down hundreds of raw materials. Then, he divided the raw materials into a dozen equal portions before walking out of the room. Disciples, stop what you're doing first. One have something to say. Xiao Changtian said. Master, what's the matter? Master, we're here. Master, what do you want to say? Is Master's wife settled? Yi Fan and the others surrounded Xiao Changtian and waited for his instructions. Their faces revealed curiosity. Su Daji even teased him. Pa! Xiao Changtian smashed his head on Su Daji's head. All! Su Daji was bounced and instantly pushed back more than 10 steps. If it wasn't for Yi Fan pulling her back, she would have retreated out of the small courtyard. Woo-woo, Master, it hurts when you hit someone. Woo-woo. Su Daji started crying. Xiao Changtian was stunned. He had only flicked his head. Was there a need for such a big commotion? She really knew how to act. All right, one won't hit you anymore. It's just a brain crack, it won't hurt anymore. Xiao Changtian said helplessly. These days, disciples are too difficult to serve. As a master, he was really worried and worked hard. As soon as Xiao Changtian finished speaking, Su Daji felt that the pain on her forehead suddenly disappeared. Even her sea of consciousness became clearer. It really doesn't hurt anymore? Su Daji said with a smile. Xiao Changtian shook his head helplessly. This disciple of his, how could his head hurt? It really was. Master, do you have any instructions? Yi Fan said, and everyone immediately quieted down. It's like this. I'm preparing to make a dish in a month's time. But the process of making this dish is quite complicated and requires too many ingredients to be prepared. Therefore, I need the few of you to go and look for it. Xiao Changtian said as he started to distribute the mission slips. Yi Fan, you're in charge of finding firewood. You need a total of 3 types. The first type is wood that can emit 5 fragrances. The second type is wood that can absorb smoke and dust during the burning process. The third type is. There is also a water source. Xiao Changtian instructed carefully. Yi Fan memorized every request. Miaosho, go and find a few medicinal herbs. One is a 10,000-year-old sea cucumber from the sea, and another is a plant that you need, as well as these 3 flowers. Beichen, Taibai, Futian. Do you all remember? One can't make any mistakes with any of the items. As long as one find one of them, I'll take it back and keep it. Otherwise, some items will no longer be useful after some time. Xiao Changtian said. Yes, master. We understand. The disciples nodded and left the courtyard. I wonder when my disciples will be able to gather all of them. What if I'm late? What if this stupid system really deducts my gold? Xiao Changtian couldn't help but worry. He had gone through so much hardship to open a bookstore across the continent. Forget it. I'm going fishing today. Jiu'er, take my fishing rod and alpha. Let's go. Xiao Changtian said. In any case, there were 5 foremen in the small courtyard, including Zhui, so he could rest assured. Yes, sir. Mu Jiuhuang agreed to Ling Sheng's request. The two of them left Ling Sheng's courtyard and went fishing by the North Sea. Only after Xiao Changtian left did the old dirty turtle float up from the water, leaping onto Fatty Rongrong's head. Fatty, let's go. Go to the divine realm and find a beauty. Saying so, the dirty old turtle grabbed Black Heaven Divine King, bringing Fatty Rongrong directly into the void. Sai, wait for me. The monkey only realized after a while, bending the bamboo forest, like a moon landing catapult. It followed and hopped on top of Fatty Rongrong's head. 1 man and 3 beasts directly entered the divine world. On the other side, Yi Fan thought about the wood that was emitting 5 fragrances, and his face was filled with doubt. He had been chopping firewood for so long, and had seen all kinds of wood, but he had never encountered wood with a wooden fragrance. Someone? Just in time to ask. Yi Fan walked towards an old man who was chopping wood in the forest. Uncle, may first ask where there are trees that emit 5 fragrances. 5 scented trees? You must be joking, young man. How can there be a tree with 5 fragrances? Are you joking? The old man waved his hand and chuckled. No. Yi Fan was stunned. This was a mission given by his master. It was very important. Hee. Perhaps only the legendary world where immortals live exists. The old man shook his head and felt that Yi Fan, this young man, was a little stupid. He smiled and left. The divine realm. Yi Fan was slightly stunned. Then he bowed to the old man's back and said, Thank you, uncle. Then he took out the axe from his waist and hacked it into the sky. Chapter 216. Don't give up your lives in vain. 1. Chapter 216. Don't give up your lives in vain. 1. Divine Realm. Great Wood Immortal Continent. This was an immortal continent filled with wood elements. In this immortal continent, lush forests were everywhere, full of vitality. The blue sky was like a mirror. Auspicious clouds floated and colorful cranes flew. However, all of a sudden, an ear-piercing scream broke the silence. Help! A young man with green hair was running in a panic, screaming for help. His chest emitted a faint green light. That's the position of the heart. Don't run, Murengia. Your entire race is no match for us. No one can protect you. That's right. Your wood spirit's heart is a sacred item of our great wood immortal continent that's only seen once in 10,000 years. Hand it over. As long as you hand it over to our young master, and let him break through to the Divine Lord realm, we'll burn paper offerings for you. That's right, ha. Quote, hand over the heart of the wood spirit. Hand over the heart of the wood spirit. One by one, the experts chased after him with greed on their faces. Mu Renjia, who was fleeing for his life, was a genius of the Divine Wood Dragon Subduing Wood clan. He was born with the heart of the wood spirit. On the day he was born, the entire Great Wood Immortal Continent was enveloped by a green light that symbolized life. Countless people of the Great Wood Immortal Continent sensed that the wood spirit's heart carried the holy wood element. However, the Dragon Subduing Wood clan was too powerful. They could not afford to provoke them. However, in recent years, the other races of the Great Wood Immortal Continent, such as the ancient Song race and the ancient Lu race, all of them rose up, and new prodigies appeared, obtaining new opportunities. Therefore, many aboriginals gathered together and came to an agreement. They made the chief of the Dragon Subduing Wood clan unable to come out alive after being transferred to the Great Wood Abyss. Then, they gathered their men to attack the Dragon Subduing Wood clan together. The Dragon Subduing Wood clan fell overnight. Helplessly, he could only let Murengia escape. Damn it, am one going to die? Mu Renjia's face was filled with hatred. He hated that these people were only after the heart of the wood spirit. However, if the wood spirit's heart was dug out, he would definitely die. He could not die yet. He still had to go back to find the clan leader. Help! Therefore, Mu Renjia shouted as he ran with an anxious look on his face. Suddenly, at this moment, his face darkened, and the heart of the wood spirit in front of his chest flashed with a green light. With the appearance of this green light, Mu Renjia's figure fell to the side, because he sensed a great threat. It was as if that power could split open the sky, causing his wood spirit heart to tremble uncontrollably. That aura was like an axe light. The axe light expanded and tore the space in front of him. Even the year-old tree beside him was cut into two. Pust! Even space itself was torn apart. As the wind howled, a figure walked out of the crack with a puzzled and curious expression. Is this the immortal world? He felt that it was not much different from the Tianyuan continent. But compared to Master's small courtyard, there's simply no comparison. Yi Fan shook his head and put the axe in his hand back to his waist. His expression returned to calmness. You. When Mu Renjia saw this scene, he was scared silly. There was actually someone who used an axe to directly tear open the space of the divine realm, and then came up from the lower realm. What kind of method was this? What kind of cultivation was this? At the very least, he was a godly monarch, right? Mu Renjia was extremely shocked. It was as if he had been struck by lightning. Even the clan leader was only at the Divine Lord realm. However, with the clan leader's strength, he could not tear open the space at all. Mu Renjia's eyes moved as if he had thought of something. He looked at Yi Fan, then stood up and came to Yi Fan. Plop! Mu Renjia immediately knelt down, his face filled with joy. This was an invincible expert. If he could obtain the protection of this invincible expert, these pursuers behind him would be nothing at all. Otherwise, they wouldn't have plotted against the clan leader. Senior, please save me. They want to dig out my wood spirit's heart. Mu Renjia hurriedly said. Wood spirit's heart? Yi Fan's brows twitched slightly. He swept his gaze and instantly understood the situation in Mu Renjia's body. Then, Yi Fan placed his hand on the wood spirit heart. The wood spirit's heart immediately emitted a green light, as if it was about to fly out, but it was pressed back by Yi Fan. Alright, I understand everything. As long as you agree to one condition of mine, I'll help you. Yi Fan said indifferently. Hearing this, Senior, please speak. Mu Renjia was overjoyed. No matter what the condition was, he could agree to it now. Bring me to a tree that emits 5 fragrances. Yi Fan said indifferently. 5 fragrant trees. Isn't this the dragon subduing wood? Senior, I can help you find it. Mu Renjia said excitedly. Dragon subduing wood was very common in the clan, so this was not a hardship. Good. Yi Fan nodded. He could see that Mu Renjia was not lying. Similarly, Mu Renjia could not lie in front of him. Kill. Mu Renjia, hand over the wood spirit's heart. Ha ha ha. Let's see where you can run to. Your wood spirit's heart belongs to my ancient Pine clan. Humph. My ancient Lu clan will definitely take it. A group of experts ran over and surrounded Mu Renjia. But at the same time, they also noticed Yi Fan standing in front of Mu Renjia. Immortal, kill them directly. An ancient pine race cultivator looked at Yi Fan with disdain. He was just a woodcutter. He slapped out with his palm, and countless pine needles turned into rain and mist that flew towards Yi Fan. Whoosh! 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 The pine needles caused a series of explosions in the air, causing the air to explode. Senior. Mu Renjia was shocked. This was a hierarch realm expert. He could not withstand the power of this palm. Some dead branches. It's time to sweep them. Yi Fan said indifferently and waved his hand. Although there was nothing in his hand, it was as if a broom had appeared. With a wave of the broom, the pine needles in the space in front of him completely disappeared. What? What happened? Did anyone see it? What happened just now? Where did my attacks go? The ancient pine and bamboo cultivator revealed a puzzled expression. His two big eyes widened like copper bells as he asked crazily. He was a supreme god realm expert after all. However, he could not even tell how the person in front of him had attacked. You can leave. If I don't kill you, don't give up your lives in vain, Yi Fan said indifferently. Chapter 217, Chapter 217. Senior, you can't do it Thorel. Chapter 217. Senior, you can't do it Thorel. Brat, what did you say? If you have the ability, tell me again. I'll let you understand why flowers are so red. Brat, don't think that just because you can take on Flyer Arch Ching Song's attack, you're our opponent. This brat is too arrogant. One by one, the experts pointed at Yi Fan and said angrily. In their opinion, the Yi Fan in front of them was only hiding his cultivation. However, no matter how powerful he was still not a match for so many of them. Master taught me not to do anything more than 3 times. This is the second time I'm warning you not to make unnecessary sacrifices. Yi Fan looked at everyone in front of him and said in a deep voice. His expression was extremely calm, just like his voice. It made people calm and filled with strength. Mu Renjie followed behind Yi Fan. He felt that Yi Fan's figure was incomparably tall and imposing. He felt so secure. He was like his brother. Senior, there are so many people. Are you really okay? Mu Renjie asked quietly. It's fine. Master often taught me that when one sees someone bullying others, one can't ignore them. In this world other than Master, one don't know anyone who can make me really attack. Yi Fan said with a faint smile, his voice calm. It made people feel neither Versailles nor any pride. It was just a statement of fact. Hearing this, Mu Renjie nodded seriously. He felt that the senior in front of him really had such strength. Arrogant. Arrogant. You're courting death. All the experts present revealed furious expressions. Who were they? He was one of the top experts of the Great Wood Immortal Continent. To them, when had anyone dared to be so arrogant and contemptuous in front of them? In an instant, violent power erupted from their bodies. Countless rays of vital essence soared into the sky, and countless forces swept through the space. In an instant, in the space, the phantom of a pine tree, a willow tree, and a thorn appeared. Countless phantoms appeared. Pine needles, willow branches, thorns. There were also many other methods that lashed out at Yi Fan. Yi Fan was directly surrounded. When these terrifying powers gathered, the space emitted cracking sounds. Mu Renjie, who was hiding behind Yi Fan, felt this terrifying power, and his entire body went limp in an instant. It was too terrifying. In front of these experts joining forces, he did not have any strength to retaliate at all. In fact, just his aura alone was enough to crush him into powder. Some withered branches and leaves swept them away. Yi Fan was expressionless as he spoke indifferently. He was like sweeping the floor in the small courtyard. With a wave of his hand, many fallen leaves gathered into a pile. Then he disappeared completely. Everything happened in an instant. In fact, there were no screams in the space. Those experts, those insufferably arrogant experts, transformed into recovery just like that. They scattered with the wind and fell into the soil, completely disappearing without a trace. Mu Renjie was dumbfounded. What kind of power was this? What kind of technique was this? It could actually turn dozens of Hierarch realm experts into ashes without a sound. Let's go. Bring me to find a tree that can emit the fragrance of 5 spices. Yi Fan said. Yes. Mu Renjie hurriedly nodded. The big shot in front of him was really too terrifying. Even after killing so many Supreme God Realm experts, the senior in front of him did not even blink. Senior, those are all godly venerable rank experts. Mu Renjie reminded him again, his face filled with shock. It's not even as good as the fallen leaves in the small courtyard. Yi Fan shook his head. A Supreme God Realm expert is inferior to the leaves? Mu Renjie was surprised for a moment, but he quickly reacted. Senior, this should be a state of mind. It was as if he looked at the cultivators of the lower realm, and felt that they were no different from ants. However, he vaguely felt that Yi Fan's words seemed to have been misunderstood by him. He had a feeling that the fallen leaves that Yi Fan mentioned really seemed to be stronger than those Supreme God Realm experts. Very quickly, under Mu Renjia's lead, Yi Fan arrived at the Dragon Subduing Wood clan. At this moment, the Dragon Subduing Wood clan, they were being imprisoned by the other races in the huge square. I told you to glare at me. One of the ancient Willow clan cultivators saw a tied-up girl glaring at him and whipped her with a willow branch. Humph! Although the girl was being whipped, she did not show any fear or cry out in pain. She still stubbornly stared at the ancient Lu clan cultivator in front of her and mocked. You can't. What? You dare to say that one can't do it? You little girl, are you tired of living? I'll let you see my big willow branch. The ancient Lu clan cultivator's embarrassment turned into anger. Fai immediately transformed into a huge willow branch that looked like a small tree and whipped it at the woman. The large willow branch even caused an explosion in space. Without a doubt, if this willow branch were to strike her, this woman from the Dragon Subduing Wood tribe would definitely die. Stop! At this moment, Mu Renjia rushed out and stood in front of the woman. He closed his eyes and wanted to block the attack for the woman. Hehe, you are courting death. The ancient Lu clan cultivator laughed as he whipped the willow branch down crazily. The huge willow branch carried a terrifying power like a mountain, making people feel intimidated. Even Mu Renjia himself did not have much confidence, but he could not let Qiuxiang die. He had to take this attack on behalf of Qiuxiang. Go ahead. Seeing that the big willow branch was about to fall, Yi Fan slowly spoke. As if he was sweeping the floor, he slapped the ancient Lu clan cultivator in front of him and sent him flying, completely dissipating in space. What? Upon seeing this, the ancient Pine clan cultivators in the distance revealed looks of horror as they unleashed their own techniques. In an instant, countless pine needles flew towards Yi Fan again. It was as if they covered the sky and covered the earth, making it impossible to guard against. However, Yi Fan did not move. The pine needles in front of him were completely shattered, and even the ancient pine race cultivators were saved. Thank you, Senior. Thank you, Senior. Mu Renjia hurriedly expressed his gratitude. Let's save them first, Yi Fan said indifferently. Then, Mu Renjia saved the cultivators of the Dragon Subduing Wood clan and introduced Yi Fan to everyone. He showed that Yi Fan was an invincible expert who saved him at the same time, and that Yi Fan was also here to find the Dragon Subduing Wood. Thank you, Senior. You can take these Dragon Subduing Wood as you wish, the Vice Clan leader said gratefully. As expected, it's a wood that emits 5 fragrances. Yi Fan asked about the 5 fragrances that were emitted from the space and revealed a faint smile. He had finally found the 5 fragrance firewood that his master wanted. However, the 5 fragrances of the wood in front of me are not strong enough. I want that piece. Yi Fan shook his head and pointed at a huge pit in front of him. He sensed that there was a type of wood in the deep pit that emitted the strongest and most mellow fragrance. Senior, there, you can't do it there, Mu Renjia hurriedly said. Chapter 218 Chapter 218 A Million-Year-Old Pine 1 Chapter 218 A Million-Year-Old Pine 1 Why not? Yi Fan frowned slightly, because he could sense that there was nothing special about the Dragon Subduing Wood in front of him. At most, it was a little old and was not a treasure. Senior, there's a godly king of my Dragon Subduing Wood race under Arichi Abyss. Back then, our Dragon Subduing Wood clan was able to rank first in the Great Wood Immortal Continent because of this senior god king. But that god king seemed to have gone crazy. Therefore, it will be very dangerous to obtain Arichi Dragon Subduing Wood under the abyss. Mu Renjia hurriedly explained. He only knew that Yi Fan was very strong. He was even stronger than the patriarch of the Dragon Subduing Wood race. There was even a high chance that he was a godly king realm martial arts expert. However, facing a true godly king, he did not know if Yi Fan would be in danger. Understood, Yi Fan said indifferently and nodded. Soon after, he leaped and directly jumped into the abyss. Senior. Seeing this, Mu Renjia, the deputy chief of the Dragon Subduing Wood tribe, Mu Qingqing, and many other members of the Dragon Subduing Wood tribe were shocked and shouted in panic. That divine king realm ancestor was the #1 person in the Great Wood Immortal continent. Not to mention, he had already fallen into madness. Just thinking about how terrifying a godly king realm old ancestor who had fallen into madness was made one feel a chill on their backs. They had already explained everything to Senior, but Senior actually jumped in. Bang! In the next moment, a huge explosion sounded from under Arichi Abyss. The sound was extremely loud. Even the originally incomparably dark abyss was illuminated. A huge pillar of light shot into the sky, and the faint sound of a dragon could be heard within the pillar of light. Ancestor? No good. This old ancestor's dragon subduing palm is the real deal. It's over. There's a fight below. Will something happen? That Senior is a benefactor to our Dragonwood clan. Please don't let anything happen to him. Otherwise I, Dragonwood, will feel guilty for the rest of my life. Mu Renjia and the deputy patriarch were scared silly. A great battle between godly kings was not something they could participate in at all. Just a random ripple of power could completely shatter them. Retreat. Helpless, the vice-clan leader could only order everyone to retreat. Only Mu Renjia stayed behind and gazed into the distance. Renjia, come back quickly. The deputy clan leader shouted at the side and hurriedly wanted Mu Renjia to retreat, but Mu Renjia was unmoved. Clan leader, Senior is my savior. One can't watch Senior get into trouble. Mu Renjia said with a determined look on his face. He directly jumped into the abyss. Renjia! Mu Qingqing shouted. Mu Renjia only had the strength of a high-level deity. If he jumped down he would definitely die. We're finished. The faces of the other clansmen also darkened. Mu Renjia was going to die. Boom! A terrifying explosion sounded from the abyss. Then, everyone saw a few afterimages fly out from the abyss. The moment they flew one of the figures was directly thrown heavily onto the ground, smashing a huge hole in the ground, stirring up dust that filled the sky. After the dust settled, the two figures finally settled down. Renjia, Senior. Only then did the people of the Dragon Subduing Wood race see clearly that Yi Fan and Mu Renjia were in Arichi space in front of them. Moreover, there was no aura fluctuation around the two of them, and they were not injured at all. In Yi Fan's hand, he was even holding a huge piece of Dragon Subduing Wood. The Dragon Subduing Wood emitted a 5-spice smell. It was extremely fragrant and spread throughout the entire space. Everyone looked at the two of them with surprise on their faces. Their own ancestor was a divine king realm powerhouse. The terrifying battle aura that erupted was already unimaginable, but Senior and Mu Renjia were actually not injured at all. Cough cough. Until this moment, the ancestor of the Dragon Subduing Wood clan slowly crawled out of the deep pit. His clothes were in a mess, his hair was messy, and his body was covered in blood. Ancestor! Everyone retreat. The ancestor is in danger. The deputy clan leader was shocked and shouted in a panic. Everyone retreated crazily, as if they were avoiding a poisonous snake. Cough cough, why are you running? Your ancestor has already regained his consciousness. The Dragon Subduing Wood clan's patriarch patted the dust off his body and made a spell. He changed his clothes again. Thank you for your guidance, Senior. Then, the ancestor of the Dragon Subduing Wood race walked respectfully to Yi Fan and bowed. He went crazy. In fact, it was because he had reached a bottleneck in the process of cultivation and could not break through for a long time. Then he went berserk. However, now, in the process of fighting with Yi Fan, he suddenly understood. LT was as if he had been enlightened by the Great Tao and had already broken through to the bottleneck. In fact, the next step would be to take another step forward and become a God Emperor realm expert. Senior. At the side, the people of the Dragon Subduing Wood race stared at Yi Fan with incomparably surprised expressions. His own ancestor actually called Yi Fan master. It was simply unimaginable. No need. This piece of Dragon Subduing Wood can be considered a thank you gift for me. Yi Fan smiled faintly and carried the huge dragon subduing wood on his shoulder. Senior, it's just a mere dragon subduing wood. I'll give it to you / ancestor Mu Xianglong said. Yi Fan paused slightly. Senior, what happened? Mu Xianglong saw Yi Fan pause and asked in confusion. I can't pretend. Yi Fan smiled awkwardly. Can't put it up? Senior, you can just put it in your ring. 11 Mu Xianglong smiled awkwardly, thinking that Senior really knew how to joke. One don't have any true qi, so I can't use the interspatial ring. Yi Fan explained. What is it? No true qi. Mu Xianglong was stunned. Senior was so powerful that he had no way to fight back. Senior actually said that he had no true essence. This, Mu Xianglong, Mu Renjia, and the others were stunned on the spot, not knowing what to say. Seeing everyone's confusion, Yi Fan explained. This is a special Dao that Master passed down to me. Don't worry about it. Hearing everyone's explanation, the people of the Dragonwood tribe did not dare to ask further. Mu Xianglong was the first to stand up and say, Senior, I'll hold it for you. Mu Xianglong quickly walked over, but Mu Renjia also stood up. Ancestor, you should go and save the clan leader first. I'll carry it. Although the dragon subduing wood weighs billions of pounds, I'm also a member of the dragon subduing wood clan. Mu Renjia said with a smile. He ran in front of Mu Xianglong and took the dragon subduing wood from Yi Fan's hand. Senior, I'll carry it and send it back to you. At the same time, I would like to thank Senior and Master. Mu Renjia smiled awkwardly. Yi Fan nodded. All right, but one still need to find another kind of wood that can absorb smoke during the burning process. Do you know where I can find it? Yi Fan asked. The people of the dragon subduing wood race looked at each other and frowned. As people of the Great Wood Immortal Continent, they had really never seen such a piece of wood. However, Mu Xianglong's face lit up and he quickly said, There is an ancient pine tree that has lived for 1,000,000 years in the ancient pine bamboo. Yi Fan's eyes lit up as he muttered, The ancient pine race. Chapter 219 Exterminate the dragon subduing wood. Chapter 219 Exterminate the dragon subduing wood. Clan _I. Gu Songzhu had lived in the Great Wood Immortal Continent for a long time like the dragon subduing wood clan. Even the ancient pine and bamboo trees of the Great Wood Immortal Continent had been established. In the depths of the ancient pine clan, there was a 1,000,000-year-old pine tree. Its entire body was emitting a greenish-gray aura. It was ancient, and extremely mysterious. Before the ancient pine tree, many ancient Song clansmen were paying their respects. Countless wisps of green smoke rose up and gathered into a large sea of green smoke that rose up. The sea of smoke blocked his vision. However, the sea of smoke had just reached the top of the ancient pine tree when it disappeared in an instant. The vast sea of smoke seemed to have been swallowed by the ancient pine tree. The ancient pine absorbed the green smoke, and the whole tree trembled violently. Pine needles fell one after another. Buzz! The pine needles fell from the sky and turned into green lights. The light landed on the body of the ancient Song tribe member. Thank you, King Song. Thank you, King Song. Shouts rang out as everyone in the ancient pine clan prostrated themselves on the ground, expressing their respect for the 1,000,000-year-old pine. 2 hours later, only then did the tribe leader of the ancient pine tribe stand up. After that, the people behind Song Renjian, the chief of the ancient Song clan, stood up. All right, it's time to pay respects and stay for the night. Let's go outside the Holy Land to discuss matters. Led by the Songren sword, everyone returned to the main hall. How is the matter of obtaining the Wood Spirit Heart? Songren sword looked at the seat below him, his face filled with joy. As long as he could obtain the Wood Spirit's heart and hand it over to King Song, the ancient Song tribe would definitely produce another godly king. At that time, the ancient pine and bamboo could replace the position of the dragon subduing wood clan in the Great Wood Immortal Continent. This Elder Songren had yet to send back any news. The ancient Song clan's deputy clan leader hurriedly replied, You haven't returned with any news? It shouldn't be. Could it be that they are fighting with the other clans? Could it be the ancient Lu clans? Song Renjian frowned and asked with a puzzled expression. Forget it. Bring Mu Zhantian up first. Mu Zhantian was the chief of the dragon-subduing wood tribe. He had fallen into the deep pit of the ancient pine tribe, due to the Songren sword, and was severely injured. Yes, sir. The guards at the side passed down the order. Then, 2 ancient Song tribe cultivators carried Mu Zhantian up. Mu Zhantian's body was festering and covered in pine needles. Hehe, Mu Zhantian, look at you now. You look like a stray dog. On the seat of honor, Songren's sword began to mock him. The ancient pine tribe had been suppressed by the dragon-subduing wood tribe before, and the same was true for the pine man's sword in front of Mu Zhantian. But now, his ancient pine race had already joined forces with the other ancient races, and were on the way to annihilate the dragon-subduing wood race. Bah, treacherous scoundrel, shameless person. If I didn't trust you, how would I have fallen into your trap? How can you be my opponent in a direct duel? If you didn't ask me to help you, how could I have been framed by you and fallen into the ancient Song tribe's sacred pit? I treated you with kindness, but you schemed against me. Mu Zhantian spat out a mouthful of blood. Hehe, Mu Zhantian, you are really stupid. I'm afraid that the entire dragon-subduing wood clan has been destroyed by now, right? Oh, and your most promising successor, Mu Renjia, has probably had his heart dug out by now. The wood spirit's heart is also on the way back to the ancient pine clan. Mu Zhantian, you're finished. Your dragon-subduing wood clan is completely finished. Song Renjian laughed out loud. Then his body moved and came in front of Mu Zhantian. He stepped on one of his arms. Mu Zhantian, you used this arm to defeat me back then, right? The Songren sword sneered as he stepped on the ground. Bang! Mu Zhantian's right arm turned into a bloody mist and exploded in the air. You won't have a good ending. Mu Zhantian gritted his teeth. Even though his body was trembling in pain, he did not scream in pain. Instead, he stared at the Songren sword coldly. You still dare to glare at me. Looks like you don't want your eyes anymore. Songren's sword flew into a rage out of humiliation. Being stared at by Mu Zhantian, he always felt a sense of contempt. A contempt that came from his soul. This kind of contempt made him angry. It made him angry. The pine man's sword sent out another 2 pine needles, piercing into Mu Zhantian's eyeballs. Pust! Mu Zhantian's eyes were instantly filled with red blood. Ah, my eyes. Songren's sword, you won't have a good ending. Traitor who sneaked up on me from behind. Even if one die, I will turn into a malicious ghost and come back to find you. Mu Zhantian said painfully. Hehe, I won't have a good ending. After one kill you and devour the wood spirit's heart, I will be the strongest in the entire great wood immortal continent. Who can let me not have a good ending? You even turned into a malicious ghost and came back to find me. I'll destroy your soul now. Song Renjian sneered and slapped Mu Zhantian's head. All. Mu Zhantian let out an extremely miserable scream. The shadow of the dragon-subduing wood was looming behind him. It was his soul. Hehe, I'll destroy your soul today and make you disappear. Songren's sword laughed loudly. However, at this moment, report that something has happened to the clan leader. Elder Songren's soul jade tablet is broken. An ancient pine clan cultivator ran in a panic and said anxiously. What? Upon hearing this news, everyone present stood up in unison, their faces filled with surprise. Song Ren was in the godly venerable realm. How could he be killed? Moreover, there were many experts following Song Ren. What exactly happened? Song Renjian also frowned. For some reason his heart suddenly thumped, and he suddenly had a bad feeling. I'm not sure about the exact situation. It's still under investigation, but the ancient Lu clan, the ancient Thorn clan. It seems like someone has died. The cultivator replied. What is it? They're all dead. Investigate, quickly investigate. Songren's sword roared. He was extremely furious because he had a bad feeling. Yes. The cultivator quickly retreated. The Songren sword did not bother to kill Mu Zhantian. It kicked Mu Zhantian away and wanted to go to the Holy Land to ask King Song. However, King Song had already appeared in front of the main hall. I can sense Mu Xianglong's aura. He should have recovered. Fine, bring my clansmen, and one will follow you to the Wood clan. I will restrain Mu Xianglong, while you take the opportunity to merge with the Wood Spirit's heart. King Song instructed. Yes, sir. Ancient Song tribe, follow me. Today, we will exterminate the dragon-subduing Wood clan. Song Rinjian shouted. The entire Ancient Song tribe had gathered in 15 minutes, and started to march toward the Ancient Song tribe. Chapter 220 Chapter 220, Wood delivered to your door 1. Chapter 220, Wood delivered to your door 1. A million-year-old pine tree of the ancient pine clan. Yi Fan nodded after listening to Mu Xianglong's introduction. He confirmed that this million-year-old tree was the wood that his master had mentioned that could absorb smoke and dust during the burning process. I'll go borrow a piece from him and use it as wood for the fire. Yi Fan stood up and prepared to set off. Oh, not good, the ancient pine race is attacking. The ancient pine race is attacking. At this moment, the dragon-subduing Wood clan cultivators who were guarding outside were beaten in like rubber balls. Outside, the mighty ancient pine tribe army surged in like a tide. In fact, everyone present could see that a huge ancient pine tree almost touched the sky. It was like a walking behemoth, and the ground in front of it had been completely destroyed. King Song. Is that King Song? Everyone present had bewildered expressions on their faces. King Song was the living fossil of the ancient pine clan. He had lived for 1,000,000 years. Although his cultivation base had yet to reach the Divine King realm, he could definitely fight against a Divine King with some tricks. Mu Xianglong, come out! King Song roared and his body trembled. Countless pine trees turned into dense raindrops and fell directly on the dragon-subduing Wood tribe. In an instant, the defensive barrier of the dragon-subduing Wood tribe was directly shattered. Old man, your ancient Song tribe is too much. Mu Xianglong roared in rage. Power erupted from his body, and a towering dragon-subduing Wood appeared. The moment the phantom of the dragon-subduing Wood appeared, a bright yellow light screen appeared in the sky, enveloping the entire dragon-subduing Wood tribe. Bang 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 bang. The pine needles fell on the bright yellow screen like meteors, making a violent collision sound. Even the ground began to shake violently. What a terrifying method! Is this the end of the world? So powerful. Fortunately, the ancestor is here. If the ancestor was not here, our clan would probably be exterminated today. The cultivator from the dragon-subduing Wood stared at everything in the sky with a shocked expression. Humph, Mu Xianglong. Today your dragon-subduing Wood clan will be destroyed. Loose man's sword, go and devour the heart of the Wood spirit. King Song snorted coldly. He was burning 1,000,000 years of his lifespan. His battle prowess was on par with the Divine Kings for a period of time. He would definitely be able to hold Mu Xianglong back for a while. During this period of time, the Songren sword had enough time to completely devour everything. At that time, Songren sword would become a godly monarch again. The two of them working together was enough to kill Mu Xianglong. Mu Xianglong was tied down by King Song, so he couldn't get away for the time being. However, he didn't look worried at all. Instead, he grinned and said, "Old man, you've made a mistake." Mu Xianglong smiled. With Senior Yi Fan around, it was simply wishful thinking for the Pine Man's sword to take away the Wood spirit's heart. What? When King Song saw Mu Xianglong smile, his heart suddenly skipped a beat. He hurriedly called out for the Songren sword, but it was already too late. Hand over the heart of Wood spirit. One will be the God King in the future. Songren sword laughed loudly. He turned his hand into a claw and grabbed at Mu Renjia. In an instant, the Songren sword had already arrived in front of Mu Renjia. The dragon-subduing Wood clan cultivators wanted to stop it, but they were all sent flying by the Songren sword slap. The heart of the Wood spirit is mine. The Songren sword sneered. Its claws were only a few centimeters away from Mu Renjia's chest. However, at this moment a large hand suddenly grabbed his wrist. Then his entire body could no longer move forward, and his figure directly stopped in midair. What is it? How could that be? Songrenjian was shocked. He felt that the hand in front of him was full of power, like a vast and mighty force. It completely restrained his arm. He could not even use his cultivation. Why do you all like to snatch other people's things? Yifan shook his head. Back then, his chest was also dug out because of the Supreme Being bone. Naturally, he was filled with anger towards these villains. After saying that, he patted the sword lightly. In an instant, the Songren sword turned into a pine tree and was burned to ashes in the raging fire. Patriarch. Songren sword. The ancient Song clan members had not expected this scene at all. They looked at Yifan in disbelief. An ordinary mortal had actually killed the divine Lord Songrenjian. Damn it, who are you? Why are you targeting my ancient Song clan? King Song's eyes were fixed on Yifan. He was extremely furious. If Songrenjian was dead, then the fate of the ancient Song clan could be imagined. All of this was because of Yifan, this mortal. This person who came out of nowhere. Against your Gusong clan? No, I just want a branch from you. But you actually want to snatch someone else's thing. I don't like people like that. I think I should bring you back and burn you. Yifan said indifferently. He pulled out his axe and slashed it at King Song in front of him. Kacha! With a loud tearing sound, King Song was instantly split into two. All! King Song let out a furious roar. However, his body had already been split into two. Then, a ball of green light appeared in the void, as if it was trying to escape. It was King Song's soul phantom. Now he wanted to escape. With a swoosh, the green light instantly flew out. That won't do. You're already here. The Woodmaster once must be the best. Yifan said indifferently. Then he stretched out a hand and grabbed at the void. In an instant, a huge hand suddenly appeared between heaven and earth. It was like a law that trapped King Song's soul. Ah! What are you doing? King Song's soul let out a miserable cry. However, no matter how he struggled, he could not escape Yifan's palm. Yifan's palm seemed to be condensed from the laws of this world, making it impossible for him to escape. In fact, it was impossible for it to have any sense of escape. Go back obediently. The wood that his master wanted could not be lacking in one thing. Yifan said with a smile. Then he directly pressed King Song's soul back. Buzz! A green light emitted from the trunk of the pine tree. As the green light appeared, something seemed to have appeared. This is what Master wants to use for the fire. Yifan nodded. At this moment, there was only silence in the world. An extremely terrifying silence. After a full 15 minutes of silence, the ancient Song tribe cultivators finally let out a loud cry of surprise. Run! Chapter 221 Chapter 221. This is Senior's Master? _I. Chapter 221. This is Senior's Master? _I. Run. The chief is dead. King Song is dead. Let's run. If you don't run now, you'll die. The ancient Pine Clan cultivators were all panicking and fleeing in a hurry. Their legs were like a wisp of smoke, as they ran hundreds of meters away in the blink of an eye. However, how could he escape? Dragon subduing Wood Clan, chase after them. Mu Xianglong shouted. Instantly, the cultivators of the Dragon subduing Wood Clan chased after him with joy on their faces. Awesome! That was very satisfying. To the members of the Dragon subduing Wood Clan, the previous grievance. At this moment, it was like a flood that had burst through a dam, instantly spreading out. Kill. 1. Motherfucker, these ancient Pine Clan fellows, how did they bully us before? Return them all to us. They killed my brothers, we must kill them all. Charge. The cultivators of the Dragon subduing Wood all had extremely excited expressions on their faces. They condensed the true essence around their bodies, and the terrifying phantom of the Dragon subduing Wood appeared in the air. Then there were screams. The ancient Pine Clan cultivators didn't dare to resist at all. They had seen King Song and the clan leader die in Yifan's hands with their own eyes. How would he dare to turn back? 2 hours later, The cultivators of the dragon subduing wood clan had arrived at the main hall of the ancient pine clan. Almost all of the ancient pine clan cultivators had been killed. Another hour later, the dragon subduing wood tribe cultivators returned with Mu Zhantian's heavily injured body. Clan leader? Seeing the injuries on Mu Zhantian's body, Mu Renjie immediately ran to Mu Zhantian's side and shouted. Mu Zhantian's flesh and blood had almost rotted. There were even a few large holes in his chest, and his eyes were bleeding non-stop. His right arm was already empty, like a cloud of blood mist. Patriarch! Patriarch, don't die! Mu Renjie frantically sent vital essence to Mu Zhantian, trying to catch his last breath. Senior, one beg you to save the clan leader. Senior, one beg you. Mu Renjie knelt on the ground. His face was covered in tears, and he was still transmitting his Zhen Yuan to Mu Zhantian. Because the Zhen Yuan was being transmitted too quickly, Mu Renjie's face was already pale, and his body was weak. I can't save him either. However, my master can do it. He practices medicine, and is a true doctor. Yi Fan said. He had never learned medicine, so he could not save her. In the current situation, other than looking for Wang Miaoshou, he could only look for his master. He looked at the distant horizon and realized that Wang Miaoshou seemed to be very far away. He was still relatively close to Xiao Changtian. Don't stop. I'll bring you to master now. Yi Fan said. Thank you, senior, thank you. Mu Renjie said gratefully. As for Mu Xianglong, he took the initiative to carry the pine tree and the dragon subduing wood on his shoulders. Senior, are we going to take the teleportation array, or how are we going to get there? Mu Xianglong asked. It was also very difficult for godly kings to descend to the lower realm. No need. It's just a step away. Yi Fan said calmly. Then, he took out the axe from his waist and hacked down at the space in front of him. Pust! With a tearing sound, a huge crack appeared in an instant. Rumble! The moment he broke through the regional wall, the thunder of laws surged over. However, that axe intent directly crushed the thunder of laws. Hiss! The members of the Dragon Falling Wood clan who saw the scene all sucked in a breath of cold air. Even the temperature in the space rose a little. This, Mu Xianglong was scared silly. What kind of method was this? Splitting the barrier between the two worlds with one axe. He even crushed all the lightning of laws. Let's go. As Yi Fan spoke, he stepped into the spatial rift. Without hesitation, Mu Renjie carried Mu Zhantian and followed him. As for Mu Xianglong, he only regained his senses after being reminded by his clansmen and stepped into the crack. This axe intent was truly too powerful. It was so powerful that it was unimaginable. In the next moment, the few of them came out of the spatial rift and directly arrived in front of a small courtyard. The residence of mortals. Mu Xianglong was stunned. This place was ordinary, and there was no aura fluctuation at all. It was completely the residence of mortals in the lower realm. Master is in there. However, one have to make it clear in advance that Master has hidden himself from the world of mortals and is playing around in the world. He is now calling himself a mortal. You must not say that you are immortal cultivators. Otherwise, the consequences will be to anger Master. At that time, do you understand the heaven reversal technique? Yi Fan glanced at Mu Renjie and Mu Xianglong's faces. Senior, he regards himself as a mortal. Mu Renjie was stunned for a moment, but his expression became firm. Although he didn't understand, Mu Zhantian's injury was the most important. As for Mu Xianglong, he quickly nodded and answered yes. He was an old monster who had lived for hundreds of thousands of years. How could he not understand that true experts were eccentric? Yi Fan confirmed that the two of them understood before bringing them in. However, just as he entered the small courtyard, several powerful auras instantly enveloped him. A black tortoise with an endless fire domain around its body. A divine dog that used the stars in the universe as a chessboard and opened its bloody mouth to devour the sky and the moon. An ant that walked out of the chaos. A giant golden dragon whose body could suppress the heavens. The four auras directly pressed down on them until they could not breathe. Their faces were filled with disbelief. Terrifying. Terrifying. Divine beasts, they are all divine beasts. Combat Mu Xianglong suddenly felt his true essence stagnate. The 2 pieces of wood on his shoulders were as heavy as 10,000 June, making it difficult for him to breathe. Mu Renjie was trembling. Yifan, you're back? At this time, Xiao Changtian walked out of the room and said with a smile. As Xiao Changtian spoke, all kinds of terrifying auras disappeared in an instant. Mu Xianglong felt that the world seemed to have returned to normal. Even Mu Renjie felt a sense of clarity in his spiritual altar. The dizziness from the excessive transfer of true essence had completely disappeared at this moment. Mortals. The 2 of them looked at Xiao Changtian and were shocked. A mortal had spoken, and all those divine beasts had actually given up. However, in the next moment Yifan spoke. Master, one came back with 2 types of wood. Wood is all thanks to this little brother's help. However, his clan leader is seriously injured, so he wants to ask for your help. As Yifan's calm voice fell, Mu Renjie and Mu Xianglong were completely stunned. This is Senior's master? Chapter 222. Chapter 222. Come in dust. Chapter 222. Come in dust. It was unbelievable. There was only disbelief in their minds. Immortal. Even in terms of aura, he looked even more ordinary than Yifan. I see. Come, let me take a look. Xiao Changtian walked to Mu Renjie's side and observed Mu Zhantian's condition. No problem. Although the injury is a little serious, it will definitely heal in 2 days. Put him on the ground first. Don't touch him again. Xiao Changtian said lightly. This kind of small injury was not fatal, although it looked extremely serious. In terms of the degree of the injury, it was not even as serious as the injury when Yifan came to the small courtyard back then. Just put it down. Mu Renjie was stunned, and the clan leader Mu Zhantian was on his last breath. If he died, Mu Zhantian would be gone. Guard against it. Master has already said it. Yifan said from the side. Although Mu Renjie was confused and afraid, he had no other choice. The most important thing was that Xiao Changtian's words gave him a feeling of extreme confidence. It was as if even if he put the clan leader down, the clan leader would not die for a moment. Mu Renjie nodded and slowly put the clan leader down. Then he slowly pulled his hands away. Senior, the patriarch is dying. However, as soon as he pulled his hand away, he could clearly feel that Mu Zhantian's aura had started to weaken. In the next moment he was about to die. Don't be anxious. Let him swallow his anger. Go and pluck that leaf and give it to your clan leader. Xiao Changtian commanded Mu Renjie. Yes. Mu Renjie hurriedly ran to where Xiao Changtian was pointing and plucked the hexagonal leaf. However, when he got close to the leaf and wanted to pick it with both hands, he was surprised to find that he could not move a single leaf. Mu Renjie was eager to save his life and gathered all the true essence in his body into his hands. Senior, this should be an immortal medicine. One have to pluck it with all my might. Mu Renjie nodded, and then plucked the leaves with both hands. Come down. Mu Renjie gritted his teeth and pulled hard. However, he was surprised to find that no matter how hard he pulled, he could not pull the leaf off. Mu Renjie was stunned and frowned as he stared at the leaf in front of him. He was dumbfounded. He couldn't even pluck a leaf. Renjie? What are you doing? Why are you dawdling? Mu Xianglong couldn't stand it anymore. It was just picking a leaf. Why didn't Mu Renjie move for so long? This is the end of the game, I can't pick it. Mu Renjie lowered his head and said in disbelief. Can't be plucked? What the hell? Mu Xianglong put down the 2 pieces of wood he was carrying and walked over. It's just picking a leaf. Do you still need me to do it? Mu Xianglong said in confusion. Then, he pinched the root of the leaf with his hand and turned around to leave. However, just as he was about to leave, a huge force came from behind and pulled him back. What? Mu Xianglong was also stunned. The leaf was emitting a huge force that made it difficult for him to continue. He immediately circulated the divine essence in his entire body and gathered it on his hands. He did not believe that he, a dignified godly king, could not even pluck a leaf. Come down. Mu Xianglong grabbed the leaf with both hands and fell backward. Plop! A loud thud sounded as Mu Xianglong sat on the ground. However, the leaf in front of him did not move at all. Mu Xianglong was dumbfounded. He sat on the ground and rubbed his head. It felt quite sudden. What are you two doing? Xiao Changtian was applying acupuncture on Mu Zhantian when he heard a thud. He turned to look at the two of them, and found that they hadn't picked a single leaf in half a day. You guys are too slow. Xiao Changtian shook his head and stood up. He walked over and pinched the leaf lightly. Instantly the leaf was plucked. It was just a leaf. I didn't even use much strength. Xiao Changtian was speechless, but he didn't blame them. He looked at the two of them. Their skin was a little green, as if they were sick. He had already decided to treat the two of them after he cured Mu Zhantian. All right, I'll go make the ointment. You guys carry him into the house. And Xiao Changtian said lightly, and walked into another room. Mu Renjia nodded. Under Yi Fan's lead, he carried Mu Zhantian into the room. Mu Xianglong, on the other hand, was sizing up the courtyard from the corner of his eyes. Just like that, he sized him up. Suddenly, he saw God King Black Heaven, God King Red Cloud, and a bunch of godly kings. No, it was a bunch of godly kings who were currently being pulverized. Not only was he seriously hitting the dust, but he was also being scolded by a Mahayana realm cultivator and whipped with a small leather whip. Do you know how to hit the ash? You don't even know this? You poured the water out. If you can't even see it, how are you going to use it later? I can't take it anymore. Go to the side. Elder Zhu Yi was furious. He kicked God King Red Cloud's butt. God King Red Cloud flew out like a kite with a broken string and fell into the pit. However, even so, God King Red Cloud smiled awkwardly and quickly agreed. I was wrong. I'll have to trouble Big Brother building one with my problem. God King Red Cloud hurriedly apologized with a smile. As for the other godly kings by the side, each and every one of them was as silent as cicadas in winter, hurriedly burying their heads in hard work. Hiss! Mu Xianglong sucked in a breath of cold air. These were the experts of the God King Palace. Even in the entire divine world, they were famous existences. But now they were being reduced to ashes. Moreover, he was kicked in the butt by a cultivator of the Mahayana realm, and did not dare to fight back at all. Are you looking at me? First Elder Zhu Yi looked over and frowned. No. Mu Xianglong suddenly felt a chill run down his spine when he was stared at. It was as if an extremely dangerous aura had enveloped him, and goosebumps appeared all over his body. Senior is truly terrifying. Mu Xianglong was terrified. Senior had actually captured a large group of godly kings and turned them into ashes. No wonder even his disciple was so powerful. He quickly retracted his gaze and stood properly in the courtyard. Sigh, Flying Dragon? Have you returned to normal? Come and dust it. Quick. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Hurry up and come. Black Sky Divine King saw Mu Xianglong and hurriedly shouted. His relationship with Mu Xianglong was still relatively good. Beat. Dust. Mu Xianglong was slightly stunned. Chapter 223. Chapter 223. Only by moving bricks seriously can you have a future really. Chapter 223. Only by moving bricks seriously can you have a future really. Hurry up, it's good to dust it. Elder Zhu Yi, he's my friend. Let him dust as well. God King Black Heaven pleaded with Elder Zhu. Okay, then come over. Elder Zhu Yi said impatiently. All right. God King Black Sky bowed and said gratefully. Then, he ran over and grabbed Mu Xianglong, asking him to come and dust him. I don't want to dust. Mu Xianglong hurriedly refused. He was a dignified godly king. When had he done such a thing? Moreover, he still had to be beaten. This kind of thing could not be done. However, Black Sky Divine King directly grabbed his arm. It was not up to him at all. A huge force directly restrained him. Even if Mu Xianglong wanted to resist, he suddenly realized that he could not resist at all. He was like a baby in front of the Black Heaven Divine King. What's going on? Wasn't he at the same realm as God King Black Heaven? Mu Xianglong was shocked inwardly. Their cultivation realms were about the same. But he actually felt that he had no strength to resist in front of the Black Heaven Divine King now. Are you carrying bricks? Or are you doing ash? Or are you doing carpentry? Zhui asked as he dusted the dust off. I'll carry the bricks. Mu Xianglong was helpless. With the Black Sky Divine King restraining him, he had no way to leave. Moreover, Elder Zhui gave him an extremely dangerous feeling. It was as if he did not do something, he would be kicked out like God King Hong Yun in the next moment. He glanced at it. It was too dirty to be a carpenter. Moving bricks looked simpler. Moving bricks? You actually want to move bricks? Do you know how difficult it is to carry bricks? God King Black Heaven was shocked. Even the other godly kings beside him raised their heads and looked at Mu Xianglong in surprise. Flying Dragon, moving bricks is the hardest here. One don't even know how to move bricks, so don't make the wrong choice. That's right, you can't move that brick. You'd better follow us and fight the dust. It's the easiest, don't ask for trouble. Many god kings by the side began to dissuade him. That brick was made by the furnace that Senior had personally built in the Great Sun Sect. They couldn't even move a single brick. I'll carry bricks. Mu Xianglong shook his head. They were both working for a senior, so what was the difference? Weren't those Mahayana realm experts at the side also moving bricks? He even spent 100 yuan to move it. He was a godly king after all. What could he not do? All right then, you can move the bricks. Elder Zhui said indifferently. He directly commanded God King Black Heaven and the others to speed up the dust. Sigh. The other godly kings only sighed and silently picked up their tools to continue to dust. Moving bricks was not something an ordinary person could do. If he doesn't listen, we can't do anything about it. God King Black Heaven shook his head and then ignored Mu Xianglong and started to dust silently. The one in charge of moving the bricks was Third Elder Zhu. He glanced at Mu Xianglong and shook his head. No, you can't move bricks. You're too weak. Am I too weak? Mu Xianglong was shocked. A Deshang expert actually said that he was weak. If it wasn't for the fact that this was a senior's small courtyard, he would have already flared up. That's right. If you don't believe me, try lifting this brick in front of you. Third Elder Zhu said. Let's move. Mu Xianglong was also furious. Wasn't it just moving bricks? What couldn't he do? After saying that, he bent his waist and grabbed the red brick on the ground. He looked contemptuous and was about to pick it up. But the next second, he was surprised to find that he did not pick up the red brick. Take it. The third elder stared at him and said calmly. Mu Xianglong frowned. He actually couldn't lift a brick. He was a dignified god king. My hand slipped just now. Mu Xianglong quibbled. Then, he rolled up his sleeves and hugged the brick with both hands. All the strength in his body gathered in his hands. Rise! He shouted in a deep voice and exerted strength with both hands. The claw began to slowly rise. However, the speed at which he lifted it up was extremely slow. After a full 15 minutes, he was only 10 centimeters above the ground. Heavy. An indescribable heaviness made it hard for Mu Xianglong to breathe. He had never thought that a brick could be so heavy. The weight of this brick was even heavier than the weight of the dragon, subduing wood and king pine combined. How is that possible? Mu Xianglong's face revealed a look of disbelief. He felt that this brick was comparable to a top-notch immortal artifact. If he just turned around and smashed down, he felt that even a godly king would be heavily injured. You're so slow you can't even lift a brick. Third elder couldn't stand it anymore. He took the red brick and threw it into the basket on Emperor Gord's back. Hee brother, you can't even lift a brick. You're really not suitable for doing this. Emperor Gord smiled as he carried a basket of several hundred red bricks on his back. Then he shrugged and lifted the wicker basket up. Then he carried the wicker basket on his back and left. Mu Xianglong stood rooted to the ground, his entire person petrified. The red brick that he couldn't lift was actually taken away so easily by someone else? He was dumbfounded. The key point was that the person in front of him was still a mere Mahayana realm. The Mahayana realm that he looked down on at all. I can't even carry bricks? Mu Xianglong felt as if he had been struck by lightning. As a divine king, this was the first time in his life that he had suffered such a huge blow. You'd better go and collect dust. You can't carry bricks. Third elder said casually. Moving bricks here was a big deal. If someone didn't work hard, it would delay the construction of the senior's small courtyard. Senior had promised to give everyone another painting. Where could he find such a good opportunity to obtain a peerless opportunity by moving bricks? This was just like how an ordinary mortal would be given such a good thing, as long as he worked hard for a period of time, and was given countless wealth. No, I want to move bricks. Mu Xianglong shook his head. He suddenly understood why God King Black Heaven suddenly surpassed him in terms of realm. Now it seemed that there was only one reason. Dust. Because of the dust, the Black Heaven Divine King's divine essence was even more condensed. This was an opportunity to become stronger. He could not fall behind. He believed that as long as he carried bricks seriously, his future would definitely be bright. It was even possible to take advantage of the opportunity to move bricks and advance to the God Emperor realm. Thinking of this, Mu Xianglong was even more determined in his heart. He must move bricks, and he must spare no effort to move bricks seriously. Only in this way could he have the brightest future. Chapter 224. Chapter 224. Let this Sea King pick up girls first. _1. Chapter 224. Let this Sea King pick up girls first. _1. In the end, under Mu Xianglong's pleading, the third elder reluctantly agreed. In the end, he gave him a workload of moving one more brick every day. Yes, I will definitely work hard to move bricks, and strive to become a qualified bricklayer as soon as possible. Mu Xianglong replied with a serious expression, his eyes burning. It was filled with determination. Good luck. Emperor Gord returned with a basket of red bricks, and did not forget to cheer for Mu Xianglong. Just like that, Mu Xianglong officially joined the brick-moving team. On the other side, Xiao Changtian took out a few pills, and went around to find a green-haired turtle to peel off some shells. However, when he came to the pool, he suddenly found that the old dirty turtle was gone again. Moreover, not only was the old dirty turtle gone, even Fatty Rongrong and Monkey were gone. Alright, these three, come back and see how one deal with you, Xiao Changtian said angrily, his face filled with anger. These three animals were making him worry every day. What if he was eaten by others when he went out? When you come back, build a cage and lock the three of them up. Xiao Changtian's eyes lit up. He had already thought of a way. At the same time, Divine Realm. Fatty Rongrong, who was flying in the air, suddenly shivered, directly falling to the ground. The green-haired turtle and monkey were exceptions. They had just sensed an extremely cold aura. As the cold aura fell, they felt the true essence in their bodies stagnate, and they could not even move. Damn Fatty, what happened to you? This king fell to his death. Monkey cursed, but his expression was extremely solemn. The green-haired turtle next to him retracted its head and trembled. Why do I feel like Master wants to punish us? Black Tortoise's voice trembled. No way, Master realized that we're not here? What should we do? Monkey immediately collapsed on the spot. The fat Rongrong heard this, and also curled up into a ball, not daring to move an inch under the big tree. Hey, there's a ugly turtle, a panda, and a monkey. Butler, this is interesting. At this moment, a mocking voice rang out. The person who came was a handsome young master. His entire body was filled with a luxurious aura. One look and one could tell that he was from a large sect, and came from a large faction. An old man followed behind him. The old man didn't say anything. He just stared at the three animals with disdain. On his shoulder was a red-robed woman who was tied up and unconscious. Ha, they must have been frightened by my aura. The handsome young master sneered, his face filled with arrogance. Hee, this ugly turtle is perfect for me to use to make soup and nourish my primordial yang. As he said that, the handsome young man stretched out his hand. A palm print condensed in the air and grabbed at the green-haired turtle in front of him. At this moment, the black tortoise, who was hiding in its turtle shell, heard that someone actually dared to call it an ugly turtle, and even wanted to stew it into soup. She thought that it was Chang Tian, and was shocked. However, when he saw that the person in front of him was not Xiao Chang Tian, he was instantly enraged and shouted, "This Sea King is currently annoyed by the current situation. Fuck. You're courting death." After saying that, the green-haired turtle was furious. Behind him, a huge black tortoise Dharma idol instantly appeared. The moment the black tortoise Dharma idol appeared, it could shake the earth. The huge black tortoise Dharma idol was level with the sky. Its 4 legs were like pillars that supported the sky, and endless seawater flowed around it. Roar! The black tortoise let out an angry roar. In an instant, a terrifying aura crushed over like a mountain. Boom! The palm print that the handsome young master grabbed was instantly shattered. What is it? Black tortoise? Seeing this scene, the handsome young master was stunned. How could he have expected that the turtle in front of him was actually the divine beast black tortoise? Young master, let's go. The old man threw the red-robed woman to the ground and grabbed the handsome young master's shoulder at an extremely fast speed. He used a spatial escape talisman with the handsome young master and was about to escape. However, how could Black Tortoise let them run? You still want to run? Can you run? The Black Tortoise snorted coldly, and a green light instantly shattered the surrounding space. What is it? The entire space was shattered? The old man was shocked. He realized that although he had activated the spatial escape talisman, the space was shattered. He had no way to escape. Damn it! The old man cried out in shock. Helplessly, he could only burn his true essence and leave the handsome young master behind. He turned into a wisp of smoke and fled instantly. Butler, save me. Seeing the butler leave, the handsome young master's eyes revealed an expression of utter despair. He saw the green light falling towards him. His field of vision was completely covered in green. Soon after, they turned into ashes. Black Tortoise's anger gradually subsided, and the woman in red rolled in front of him. This girl is pretty enough. The Black Tortoise looked at the woman in red's face. It was white and flawless, like a piece of fine jade. As she breathed, mountains rose and fell, causing the old dirty turtle's eyes to widen. Boss, shouldn't we be thinking about how to deal with Master's punishment? Fatty Rongrong walked over and asked curiously. To deal with Master's punishment? Black Tortoise asked in confusion. That's right. Fatty Rongrong nodded. Don't tell me we're trying to find a way to get out of here? The Black Tortoise shook its head. Yes, I won't. Fatty Rongrong pondered. Then it's settled. Since Master is sure of punishing me, then let's put the punishment aside. Let me get this beauty in front of me first, and then dump her, ha ha ha. The old dirty turtle said with a smile. Fatty Rongrong could only nod her head in a half-understanding manner, while Monkey collapsed on the treetops, his face revealing a look of disdain. Boring. What's so interesting about women? I'm going to play with monkeys. Monkey instantly disappeared from where he was. This damn monkey, how does he know the fun of picking up girls? He won't understand even if I tell him. The dirty old turtle shook his head. Then, he raised one of his legs and placed it on the forehead of the woman in red. In an instant, a green light lit up. Buzz! The green light enveloped the woman in red. The next moment, the unconscious woman in red slowly opened her eyes. Where is this place? The woman opened her eyes and looked around. Then she saw Black Tortoise stepping on her head with one leg. Oh, a monster. What an ugly monster. The woman in red was so frightened that she woke up. She stood up and ran 10 meters away in a hurry before stopping. Chapter 225, Chapter 225. Chapter 225 Breaking the Heavens with the Chapter 225. Chapter 225 Breaking the Heavens with the West Gate. Black Tortoise was speechless. Beauty, although you're pretty, That's not a reason for you to call me ugly. If you have a problem with your taste, one suggests you take a good look at me. The old dirty turtle said speechlessly. That's right. Our boss is so handsome that he's the most handsome man in the world. Can't you tell? The fat Rongrong said indignantly for the old dirty turtle. The jade tree Linfeng. The woman in red was stunned. She let the wind blow her long hair, and her entire body became messy in the wind. This was the first time she saw someone. No, there was no panda that could make such an ugly turtle look so handsome. Beauty, this sea king saved you. Even if you don't know how to repay kindness, you should at least repay it with your body. The green-haired turtle hopped, and instantly arrived in front of the red-dressed beauty. Ah! Seeing this, the woman in red was so frightened that she retreated another 10 meters and screamed, "Don't come over!" You! The dirty old turtle was completely speechless. You were saved by my boss. If it wasn't for my boss, you would have been captured by the people before. The fat Rongrong stood in front of the red-robed woman with her hands on her waist, stretching out a claw as she angrily said. Looking at the chubby Rongrong's adorable appearance, the red-clothed woman finally regained her calm, frowning. It was really you guys who saved me. Then where did Shimanqing go? And his butler? Of course he was killed by my boss. That kid dared to offend my boss. Fatty Rongrong continued. The dirty old turtle jumped once more, landing on top of the fat Rongrong's head, his face showing a proud expression. He was already prepared to receive the gratitude of the woman in red. However, he did not hear the words of gratitude. Instead, he saw the woman in red's terrified expression. She covered her mouth in disbelief. All of you, did he really kill Eastern Green Gate? It's over. Immediately, the woman in red sat on the ground and burst into tears. Her fair face was covered in tears. It's over, it's over, it's all over. If Shimanqing dies, the entire Shiman family will be mobilized to wipe out our village. The red-dressed woman cried as she spoke, her voice filled with despair. Beauty, don't cry. Let this sea king take you back. Where is your village? The old dirty turtle looked at the red-clothed woman crying and comforted her. On the other side, the Shiman family. This was a powerful clan of the Xian Luo immortal continent. Within the clan, there was a god king ancestor overseeing it. Hence, the entire Shiman clan was incomparably tyrannical. Patriarch, bad news, bad news. The butler is seriously injured. A servant ran into the hall, which was filled with an eerie atmosphere. What? At the head of the table, a furious middle-aged man frowned. In an instant, a terrifying killing intent condensed, and the servant was so frightened that he fell to the ground. Bring the butler, Indiana, the middle-aged man said in a cold and anxious voice. He was Shimanqing's father, the head of the entire Shiman family, Lord De Qian, invincible Shiman. In the next moment, the butler was covered in injuries and blood. He even ran back with a broken arm. Patriarch, it's not good. We encountered a black tortoise. The black tortoise is too strong. I risked my life to protect the young master. But the young master was still captured by the black tortoise. One don't know if he's dead or alive. Young master asked me to come back and report. The butler knelt on the ground and sobbed. Out of the corner of his eye, he glanced at Invincible Westgate's reaction. In reality, he had caused all of his injuries. Even his broken left arm had been chopped off by himself. This was the only way to avoid being killed by Invincible Westgate. The butler didn't say anything about Shimanqing's death. He only said that Shimanqing had been captured by Xuanwu. What? When Booby Shiman heard this, he was instantly furious. A powerful aura spread out from his body. He stared coldly at the butler in front of him and asked angrily, "What exactly happened? Explain everything to me." "Yes, sir." Feeling Shiman Buble's anger, the butler quickly explained everything that had happened before he was injured. "Good, very good. It's just a small village. If I don't kill him, then kill the black tortoise and get justice for my son." Booby Shiman immediately summoned his men and was about to set off. Wait a minute. At this moment a voice rang out. Immediately, Everyone saw a white-haired man holding a bouquet of red almonds suddenly appear from the space. Ancestor. Greetings, Ancestor. Seeing this person, everyone present knelt down one after another with extremely respectful expressions. Even Invincible Westgate bowed. Let me go. Want to move around too. Shimanpatian said. That's great. Old Ancestor, if you make a move, Qing will definitely be saved. Invincible Shiman was instantly overjoyed. The old ancestor was at the Divine King realm. That was the most powerful existence in the divine world at present. No one was a match for the old ancestor. Okay, 1 foot 11 inches go too. Shimanpatian smiled faintly. Looking at Shimanpotion's departing figure, everyone present had respectful expressions as they shouted in unison. Farewell, Ancestor. Only the butler, who was kneeling on the ground, had a flash of anxiety in his eyes. He prayed in his heart. One hope the ancestor is not a match for that dirty old turtle. Otherwise I'm dead. In the courtyard, Xiao Changtian finished preparing the ointment and smeared it on Mu Zhantian's body. Mu Zhantian's entire body began to recover. Even his broken arm, which had been compressed into a bloody mist, was reassembling at a speed visible to the naked eye. Senior, isn't this too unbelievable? Mu Renjia looked on from the side with a surprised expression. It was unbelievable. It's just so. However, this is my first time trying such a method. Xiao Changtian said lightly. Then he waved his hand and yawned. Alright, I'm tired. 1 foot 11 inches go take a nap first. You guys just wait. After saying that, Xiao Changtian was about to lie down on the rocking chair. It was at this moment that he remembered that he had refined some medicine that could treat Mu Renjia's green skin disease. Take this and make it into water yourself. After taking it, it will take effect within 15 minutes. After Xiao Changtian finished his instructions, he lay down on the rocking chair and took a nap. Drink it in water. Mu Renjia looked at the black pill in his hand with a puzzled expression. He wasn't sick, so why did Senior give him the pill? However, he didn't dare to disobey. He took out a small bowl, washed the medicine and swallowed it. Chapter 226. Chapter 226. Renjia, why do you call him Senior? Chapter 226. Renjia, why do you call him Senior? Buzz. Mu Renjia had just taken the medicine when his body emitted a white light. As the white light emerged, the heart of Wood spirit in Mu Renjia's heart suddenly trembled violently, as if it had received some kind of strong call. Soon after, Mu Renjia could feel that the barrier in his body had broken through like a piece of paper. In the next moment, the originally clear sky suddenly turned into dark clouds. Between the tortoises, one could even vaguely see lightning flashing. Clearly, it was a treasure like the heart of the Wood spirit. Coupled with Mu Renjia's aura, it was the aura of the divine realm, and was not tolerated by the laws. Not good. Mu Renjia's expression changed. He couldn't withstand the heavenly Tao lightning tribulation. The cold, murderous wind blew, giving people goosebumps. Even Xiao Changtian, who was napping, was woken up. Can't I sleep? It's so annoying. Xiao Changtian stood up from the recliner, his face filled with annoyance. He had just fallen asleep, and it was going to rain. He shook his head, turned around, and went back to his room. He slammed the door shut. However, he had just closed the door of the room when the dark clouds, lightning, and thunder in the sky suddenly disappeared. Even the cold wind in the space seemed to shiver and disappear in an instant. The sky became clear again. A ray of bright sunlight shot down directly and landed on the corner of Mu Renjia's mouth. It accentuated his mouth that was wide open and laughing like a fist. The lightning tribulation is gone? After a full 15 minutes, Mu Renjia smacked his lips and barely regained his senses. His face was filled with horror. He did not expect that someone could completely repel the lightning tribulation just because of a sentence. What kind of cultivation was this? What realm was this? Mu Renjia still clearly remembered that when Yi Fan used the axe to split open the lower realm, he used the axe intent to completely suppress the law of lightning. However, with just a simple sentence from Senior, the lightning tribulation of laws had completely disappeared. Mu Renjia was so shocked that he didn't know how to express his disbelief. Ahem, Renjia, where am I? At the same time, Mu Zhantian, who was lying on the ground, regained consciousness. He coughed lightly and slowly opened his eyes. The moment he opened his eyes, he found himself in a small courtyard with Mu Renjia, and a mortal standing in front of him. Patriarch, you're awake? Mu Renjia was overjoyed when he saw that the clan leader had woken up. He hurriedly helped the clan leader up. However, he accidentally used too much strength and instantly threw the clan leader away. Luckily, Mu Zhantian was a divine lord, so he somersaulted in the space and slowly stopped. How could I have such great power? Mu Renjia's face revealed an extremely puzzled expression. He just wanted to help the clan leader. Renjia, when did you break through to the Divine King realm? Mu Zhantian, who was flying back, was shocked. He looked at Mu Renjia curiously, and his face was full of joy. The junior he thought highly of had finally broken through to the godly king realm. But suddenly, Mu Zhantian's expression turned cold again. He felt that something was wrong. He recalled that he had been knocked out by the Songren sword in the main hall of the ancient Song tribe. In fact, he clearly remembered that his eyes were cut by the Songren sword, and his arm seemed to have been trampled into meat paste by the Songren sword. Why can I still see? Quote, why is my arm still here? Mu Zhantian muttered to himself as he looked around. He saw his ancestor, Mu Xianglong, moving bricks in the backyard not far away. Moreover, not just moving bricks. He had moved a brick, but he hadn't moved it. Could it be an illusion from the netherworld? Mu Zhantian murmured. He nodded and observed the surroundings. The more he looked, the more he felt that it was the same. This was the only way to explain why he could see again, and why his arm had recovered. Sigh. I didn't expect that my dragon subduing wood clan would be persecuted by the ancient Pine clan to this extent. Mu Zhantian shook his head, and sat on the stone bench with a depressed look. Patriarch, what are you talking about? We're not dead. Mu Renjia hurriedly explained when he saw Mu Zhantian's expression. Renjia, sigh, looks like your heart of the wood spirit has been dug out by someone. Even your soul is beginning to spout nonsense. Mu Zhantian shook his head, and covered his face with his hands. They were from the dragon subduing wood clan, but they had fallen into such a state. Even Renjia's last soul would be destroyed. He hated it. He hated himself for trusting that guy, Songren sword. Patriarch, we were really saved. The ancient Pine tribe has been destroyed. Mu Zhan Renjia said. How is that possible? Even the old ancestor was moving bricks, but he couldn't even move a single brick. If this wasn't fake, then what was this? Mu Zhantian shook his head. Fuck, grandson, what do you mean? Hearing Mu Zhantian say that he couldn't lift a brick, Mu Xianglong was furious. Hearing Mu Xianglong's deep voice, Mu Zhantian was so frightened that he quivered. Ancestor 1. Mu Zhantian was so frightened that he stood up and broke out in cold sweat. It was also at this moment that he felt his own fear, and came back to his senses. I didn't die. Mu Zhantian was shocked and slapped his left cheek. Pa! With a crisp sound, a huge palm print condensed on the left side of Mu Zhantian's face. It hurts. It hurts, Mu Zhantian said in a deep voice, but his face was full of surprise. He could feel the pain, which meant that he was not dead and still conscious. No, I want to try again. Mu Zhantian slapped himself on the right side of his face. With the clear and loud sound of the slap, Mu Zhantian jumped up. Oh! He howled in pain, but his face was filled with joy. Because he could feel the pain. This proved that he was not dead. That's great. I'm not dead. I still have a chance to take revenge. Our dragon subduing wood race can still take revenge. Mu Zhantian looked at Mu Renjia and said happily. You go and pour us a cup of tea. Mu Zhantian looked at Yi Fan and said directly. All right. Yi Fan nodded and walked away. Renjia, quickly tell me, how did you break through to the Divine King realm? Is that mortal your subordinate? Mu Zhantian pulled Mu Renjia to sit down. However, Mu Renjia shook him off and caught up with Yi Fan. He hurriedly apologized. Senior, the patriarch doesn't know your identity. Please don't take offense. Renjia, what are you doing? Why are you calling a mortal senior? Mu Zhantian asked in confusion. Chapter 227. Chapter 227. Could this be mystical spirit liquid? Chapter 227. Could this be mystical spirit liquid? The stream was murmuring, birds were singing, and a man and two beasts were slowly making their way over on a secluded path. Beauty, as long as you agree to become my Dao companion, 1 foot 11 inches slap you no matter who comes. The dirty old turtle rode on the fat Rongrong's head, looking at the red-clothed woman as he said, if it weren't for you, our village wouldn't be in danger. It's not too late for you to run now. If the Shiman family really sends people here, you'll definitely be made into soup. The woman in red frowned. In reality, she knew very well what the consequences would be if she was snatched away by Eastern Green Gate. However, for the safety of the entire village, she had no choice. She was merely a puny low-level deity. How could she possibly be a match for the Shiman clan? Even in the entire small village, the strongest existence was only at the divine spirit realm. Even a servant of the Shiman family could easily reach such a realm. No need. If those people dare to come, I'll slap them one by one. The dirty old turtle raised its proud turtle head. Boss, you don't even need to do anything. How can these trash be worthy of you? I'll do it. Fatty Rongrong patted her own chest, solemnly making a promise. Fatty, good job. Black Tortoise rubbed the fat Rongrong's head, praising. Beauty, you still haven't told me your name yet. At least let me know your name. The old dirty turtle stared at the red-robed woman and chased after her relentlessly. The red-robed woman was frustrated. The Shiman family would definitely send people to take revenge. She replied impatiently, Wang Luoying. Then, he quickened his pace and headed toward the small village. Wang Luoying, good name, I like it. Beauty, I've taken a fancy to you. The corners of the dirty old turtle's mouth curled into a confident and domineering smile. He did not believe that he, the dignified Sea King, could not do this. His biggest stain was Phantom of the Nine Phoenix dynasty. This time, he would definitely not fail again. Fatty, keep up. Old filthy turtle patted Fatty Rongrong's head, and Fatty Rongrong followed. Very quickly, they arrived at the small mountain village. This was an extremely quiet small mountain village. Hundreds of birds were chirping in unison, but the sound was extremely pleasant to the ears. It was similar to the sound of flowing water, and the sound of the wind blowing the leaves. Countless sounds of nature mixed together, making the mountain village seem quiet and calming. However, logically speaking, there should not be many people in such a small mountain village. But at this moment, hundreds of people gathered together, their faces filled with panic, disappointment, and sadness. There were even wounds and bloodstains on their bodies. It was obvious that a battle had happened before. Luoying, you're back? At this moment, a man in gray clothes, although not handsome, had decent facial features and an anxious expression on his face. He hurriedly ran over and asked with concern. Tianbao, I'm back. But don't worry, one wasn't tainted by Shiman Qing. Wang Luoying said firmly with a burning gaze. Luoying, one don't care about these things. It's good that you can come back safely. One can't protect you. Tianbao sobbed helplessly. Cough, cough. Now is not the time to talk about this. The village chief stood out. He was a middle-aged man with a thin figure. He looked at Wang Luoying and asked anxiously, Luoying, what's going on? How did you get back? Wang Luoying's expression darkened as she explained the entire sequence of events. What is it? It's actually like this? Everyone present was shocked when they heard that. Killing Shiman Qing was no small matter. Their small mountain village would definitely suffer the revenge of the Shiman family. My two benefactors, thank you for saving Luoying. But now, we can't even take care of ourselves. Please follow us and escape. Village chief looked gratefully at the old dirty turtle and fat Rongrong. But the power of the Shiman family wasn't something their little mountain village could resist. No need. My boss will kill as many as they come. My boss is invincible. Fatty Rongrong pinched her waist, her face full of pride as she said. However, village chief only shook his head and said, although you were able to defeat the Shiman family's butler, it's enough to show that the strength of the two benefactors is above the supreme god realm. But the Shiman family has a godly king. God kings are the strongest existences in the entire immortal world. Village chief explained patiently. In the era when God Emperor and God Emperor did not appear, God kings were invincible in the divine world. Let's hurry up and leave. There's no need to pack anything now. Just run as far as you can. We'll split up and run. Fallen flower, heavenly treasure, the two of you follow me. Although village chief's realm is low, it's not difficult for me to escape. The Shiman family's main target is the two of you. If I take you with me, we might have a chance of survival. As village chief spoke, he pulled Wang Luoying and Wang Tianbao and turned them into a trail of smoke. He quickly ran away. Sigh, these people are really boring. The dirty old turtle shook his head. Then boss, why don't you directly activate the black tortoise Dharma idol? Won't these people know your strength? Fatty Rongrong scratched her butt and asked in puzzlement. You don't understand. The easiest way to pick up a girl is to let her think that you're very ordinary. Next, you expose your identity and shock her. This is the best way to pick up girls. When you have time, read Master's books more often. I'm already familiar with all the overbearing CEO stuff. The dirty old turtle squatted on top of Rongrong's head, arrogantly ordering. Yes. I'll definitely study hard when I get back and learn from boss. Fatty Rongrong nodded. After the old dirty turtle took a piss, the two of them chased after him. Not long after they left, a stream of light instantly fell. The terrifying pressure instantly smashed a huge pit in the ground. All the monsters are here. He ran so fast. Invincible Westgate held the red apricot in his hand and frowned. But at the same time, his gaze was fixed on the yellow liquid in front of him. This is... Booby Shiman stared at the yellow liquid and frowned. There was a fishy smell in his nose. However, his divine telekinesis detected an extremely dense spiritual chi. Could this be the rumored mystical spirit liquid? Invincible Westgate squatted down and observed carefully. The more he observed, the more he felt that the yellow liquid in front of him was not simple. In fact, the spiritual energy in his dantian seemed to have started to stir after smelling the scent. Let me try. Shiman Booby used his true essence to send a drop of yellow liquid into his dantian. Chapter 228. Chapter 228. Someone wants to tear down my courtyard? Chapter 228. Someone wants to tear down my courtyard. _1. Buzz. In the next moment, Booby Shiman's dantian trembled. A wave of energy fluctuation appeared around him. The powerful aura caused the surrounding trees and houses to collapse with a bang. Smoke and dust filled the sky. But after the dust settled, what he got in return was Booby Shiman's wild laughter. Ha ha ha, this is really mystical spirit liquid. This is really mystical spirit liquid. Booby Shiman laughed loudly. Then, he lay down and opened his mouth wide, drinking the yellow liquid in front of him wantonly. Some yellow liquid even splashed on some grass. Shiman Booby directly ate the grass without any disgust or resistance. Ha ha ha. After drinking the mystic spirit liquid, my strength has improved. Shiman Booby laughed and sat down in the space in front of him to cultivate. After a few hours, Invincible Westgate opened his eyes. His body was emitting an extremely powerful aura. It was terrifying. Humph, we can track him based on his aura. Invincible Westgate locked onto the aura of the villagers and disappeared into the space in front of him. On the other side, the monkey originally wanted to find some more monkeys to play with, but it had always been thinking about Xiao Changtian's punishment. He felt that he wasn't as tough as the dirty old turtle. No, let's go back first. At most, we'll find the great sun immortal as a cover again. That's right, let's do it. Monkey nodded. Then, he took out a thin silver needle from his ear and stroked it seriously. The silver needle began to grow bigger, thicker, and longer. Hee hee, good baby, give me another bucket. Monkey chuckled. He held his weapon with both hands and directly shot into the void. Bang! With the sound of a membrane being pierced, a huge hole instantly appeared in the divine world's regional wall. As if it had the experience of being stabbed a few times before, the lightning of law was already used to it. This time, it did not resist, and instead obediently accepted it. Hee hee, 1 foot 11 inches go too. Old dirty turtle, you two just wait to be punished. Monkey chuckled, and instantly jumped into the space in front of him. As for the hole, it seemed to have sensed something, and did not close it immediately, as if it did not want to be stabbed a second time. As expected, 2 hours later, everyone from the small mountain village arrived at this place. This is an interworld passageway? Quote. Village chief looked at the hole in front of him. His face first revealed a hint of doubt, but then it turned into a determined expression. Let's go to the lower realm to hide. Village chief brought Wang Luoying and Wang Tianbao and jumped in. Fatty Rongrong and the old dirty turtle followed behind. Sensing that it was about time, the passageway between the divine world and the Tianyuan continent began to slowly close. Heading to the lower realm? Quote. Invincible Westgate frowned, but he didn't think too much about it and followed them in. The monkey descended from the passageway and flew towards the great sun sect. As for the village chief and the others, they were running aimlessly. At the same time, a white-robed figure also rushed over. His entire body carried a profound and heavy aura. The aura around him fluctuated, and his entire aura was extremely sinister. What is the demon god's purpose? Why does he want me to help him kill an ant? He even spared no expense to help me break through to God King through the barrier between the divine realm and the Tianyuan continent. The white-robed figure was Sir God Chi Chin. However, Sir God Chi Chin's expression was extremely grave as he pondered over this question. The demon god's strength was far stronger than his. A few years ago he went into seclusion. No one knew the whereabouts of the demon god. If a demon god wanted to kill an ant, it would be a piece of cake. However, the demon god actually helped him break through to the divine king realm to kill people. It was truly baffling. Divine Lord Chi Chin pondered this question as he advanced. At this moment, Invincible Shiman also chased down from the interworld passageway and saw Sir God Chi Chin. Sir God Chi Chin also sensed a powerful aura and looked up. Sir God Chi Chin. Invincible Westgate. Both of their faces revealed a puzzled expression. Clearly, they did not expect to actually meet in a mere lower realm. As he spoke, Booby Shiman descended from the sky. After the two of them talked for a while, they found out that both of them were going to kill someone. Congratulations, you actually broke through to the godly king realm now. Invincible Westgate congratulated. Let's not talk about this. The direction we're chasing should be the same. Why don't we join forces? Said Sir God Chi Chin. He kept feeling that the demon god was tricking him. Even though the demon god helped him break through to the divine king realm, he still felt that there was something wrong with the demon god. Otherwise, why didn't the demon god kill him himself? At this time, there was an invincible Westgate who could help him test the situation first. Ha ha ha, to be able to join forces with Sir God Chi Chin. No, godly King Chi Chin. You can do whatever you want even in the divine world. Back then, you killed 2 godly kings with your divine lord realm. Invincible Westgate sighed. Then the two of them set off together. Not good, the Shiman family's god king has appeared. As the village chief ran, he sensed the aura behind him. He could sense that the aura in front of him was getting stronger and closer. I have no choice but to try my luck. The village chief brought Wang Luoying and the other 2, and ran into the existence. For some reason, he felt that there seemed to be an opportunity in the small village that could protect them from death. Hee hee, where are you going? Behind him, Invincible Shiman had a cold smile on his face. In front of a godly king, all obstacles and mazes were useless. This is a small courtyard. Let's go in quickly. The village chief brought Wang Luoying and Wang Tianbao into the small courtyard of the Heaven Building sect elder and closed the door. Hehe, if you want to die, then destroy this small courtyard together. Booby Shiman immediately caught up. His entire body erupted with a terrifying aura as he slammed his palm towards the small courtyard in front of him. Boom! In the next moment, his entire body was sent flying. How did this happen? Invincible Westgate, who had been sent flying by Tan Fei, crashed into two houses before he came to a stop. In the small courtyard, the village chief and the other two who felt all this revealed expressions of disbelief. That's great. This small courtyard is a supreme magic treasure. Even God Kings can't shatter it. Wang Luoying was overjoyed. The peddler who had his house smashed into pieces saw the two people's fierce expressions and immediately ran to Xiao Changtian's small courtyard and told Elder Zhui everything. What? Someone actually wants to tear down my small courtyard. Stop what you're doing. Elder Xiao Zhu was furious. Chapter 229. Chapter 229. Beat up Invincible Westgate. _I. Chapter 229. Beat up Invincible Westgate. _I. Boom! Seeing that he was sent flying, Invincible Westgate was furious. He was a dignified godly king, but he actually suffered defeat in the lower realm. It would be better if he was alone. However, Seven Zither stood beside him. If this matter were to spread back, where would his face go? Shiman Booby immediately used his killer move and bombarded the small courtyard of the Heaven Building sect elder. Ha ha ha. One didn't expect that there would be such a treasure in the lower realm. I didn't use my strength just now, ha ha ha. Invincible Westgate laughed awkwardly as the true essence in his dantian bombarded fiercely. Boom, 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 boom. The small merchants and peddlers nearby were so frightened that they hid away one after another. Divine King Seven Zither only smiled faintly as he responded to Invincible Shiman's explanation. However, a bad premonition arose in his heart. Why is it that even a godly monarch can't break through a small courtyard? Divine King Seven Zither frowned as he tried to guess what the demon god wanted him to do. The person he wanted to kill seemed to be in this small town. The heaviness in his heart grew heavier and deeper. And in the air, Fat Rongrong looked at all of this, doubtfully asking, "Boss, aren't we going to go down and take care of it? Isn't this the perfect time to be the hero saving the damsel in distress?" Fatty Rongrong said doubtfully. "Fatty, hurry up and run. We can't care about picking up girls now. That damn monkey has already gone to find Taoist Big Sun as a cover. We should hurry up and follow him. Otherwise we'll definitely be skinned by Master." The dirty old turtle grabbed Fatty Rongrong's ear, urging him to fly towards Great Sun Sect. Boom! Below. Invincible Westgate bombarded the small courtyard in a frenzy. He even felt that he was already tired from bombarding it. Fine beads of sweat began to appear on his forehead. However, Seven Zither was by his side. He could not lose face. Moreover, he had to be careful. He had drunk the mystic spirit liquid before. That was a divine item. Although there was still a stench in his throat, it was enough to support his true essence. He continued to bombard them. Finally, he saw the effect. Kacha! Following a soft cracking sound, a gap finally appeared on the wall of the small courtyard. With the appearance of this gap, the entire wall began to collapse and crack. What? Seeing the wall collapse, the village chief and the other two in the small courtyard were instantly shocked. They had originally wanted to rely on this wall to resist, but now it seemed that they could not do so. It's over. We can only wait for death today. The village chief said helplessly, his face filled with despair. Hehe, you dared to kill my great-grandson. You should be prepared to die. Invincible Westgate panted as he spoke. He did not expect that the walls of this small courtyard would be so difficult to break. It took him a full 15 minutes to completely open the wall of the small courtyard. Sigh! In the courtyard. The three of them sighed and closed their eyes, ready to die. Damn you, how dare you destroy our small courtyard? Do you want to die? End quote. At this moment, Elder Zhui was the first to arrive. He cursed angrily. The five of them had originally rented a house in town, but later on, they built this small courtyard and lived closer to the senior. He did not expect that someone would actually dare to cause trouble. Mahayana realm? Ants. Invincible Westgate was stopped. The first thing he felt was danger. However, when he turned his head and saw that Elder Zhui was only in the Mahayana realm, he instantly sneered. The ants of the lower realm were nothing in front of him. However, in the next moment, he had just finished laughing when he was stunned. He saw that in the space before him, more than 10 godly kings were following behind him. They ran over and looked at Elder Zhui respectfully. Boss, the other big brothers said that they were rushing the progress, so they didn't come. They sent a few rookies like us. God King Black Heaven said respectfully. Boss, I heard that someone actually dared to tear down your small courtyard. Let us settle this matter. Yes. Mu Xianglong quickly echoed from the side. These divine kings ran out. It was really too tiring to dust and move bricks. With their current divine king realm, they simply could not do it. But it was different when he came out. He came out to fight and teach them a lesson. This was much easier than moving bricks and smashing dust. You are the Black Sky Divine King? You are Divine King Red Cloud. You are the God King of the Dragon Subduing Wood Clan of the Great Wood Immortal Continent. Opposite him, Invincible Westgate looked at the people in front of him with a puzzled expression. These people seemed to look very similar to the God Kings that were known by the old man. You are Invincible Westgate, God King Black Heaven, and the rest recognized the godly king in front of them at the first moment. It was Invincible Shiman. It's me. How did you become like this? Invincible Westgate asked. However, before Booby could get an answer, the peddler pointed at him and said angrily, this person smashed Jui's small courtyard. Although the peddler's voice was not loud, it sounded like thunder to God King Black Sky, God King Red Cloud, and the others. Brothers, fuck him. Instantly, as Divine King Red Cloud's voice fell, more than a dozen divine kings swarmed forward and pressed Shiman Booby to the ground, ravaging him crazily. It's you dare to demolish Boss Yi's small courtyard. I'll fight. Brothers, beat them up ruthlessly. If anyone is beaten lightly, they will go back and dust themselves for an extra 2 hours. More than a dozen godly kings punched and kicked. All kinds of methods were used on Invincible Shiman at the same time. In the middle of the street, Invincible Westgate screamed like a pig being slaughtered. Ah! This scream reverberated through the clouds. Even the people in the entire town heard it clearly. Stop fighting, Please, big brothers, stop fighting. Shiman Booby begged, but the Black Sky Divine King directly used his Black Sky technique and sealed Shiman Booby's mouth instantly. Invincible Westgate was rendered speechless. When Seven Zither God King saw this scene, he immediately wanted to save him. Although Invincible Westgate was his chess piece, he could not die here. He took out his zither, and the notes turned into blade lights that attacked. Be careful, Wang Luoying hurriedly reminded when she saw Seven Zither Divine King make a move. However, it was already too late. One of the sound wave attacks landed directly on Divine King Red Cloud's back. Chapter 230. That Divine Hound? _I. Chapter 230. That Divine Hound? _I. Clang. The sound of the zither directly turned into a saber beam, bringing with it an ear-piercing fluctuation in the space. Even the void seemed to have been cut open by this musical note saber beam. The sound of the zither was harsh and austere. Just by listening, the village chief and the other two could feel a terrifying aura. Seal your hearing, village chief reminded Wang Luoying and Wang Tianbao. Their strength was too low against the sound wave attack of Seven Zither God King. Even if they heard the zither, their divine senses would tremble. Divine Lord Seven Zither played the zither, and the terrifying blade light slashed at Divine King Red Cloud's back. Pow! However, in the next moment, there was only the sound of air colliding. It was like a bubble hitting the surface of a person's skin. Divine King Red Cloud did not feel anything at all. She continued to punch Booby Shiman. What happened? My zither attacks are ineffective? When 7 Zither Divine King saw this scene, his heart skipped a beat. He was about to play again when Elder Zhui sent him flying with a kick. Sneak attack from behind. Don't talk about martial ethics. Get lost, Elder Zhui said angrily. He picked up the bricklayer's knife in his hand and slashed down. With a clack, the zither that God King 7 Zither had just repaired shattered into 2 again. You dare to destroy my zither? Qichin Divine Lord was shocked. His zither was his lifeblood, but now it had been destroyed by someone else. How could he not be furious? I'll fight it out with you. Sir God Qichin bared his fangs and brandished his claws as he charged towards Elder Zhui, with an extremely furious expression. Destroying his life root, he was going to risk his life. Haha, with just your small grid. He was even worse than the new brick-moving worker Mu Xianglong. Elder Zhui shook his head with a contemptuous look on his face. God King 7 Zither was simply too weak. It was weak to the point of a realm. He directly sent a slap over, sending 7 Zither flying. Puff! 7 Zither was like a kite with a broken string in midair, as he spat out blood. Then, he crashed into the wall of the courtyard and fainted. So weak. You can't even take a slap? Elder Zhui shook his head. On the other side, Invincible Westgate was beaten up and was unconscious. In this world, which Godly King Realm powerhouse could face the combined violent beating of more than 10 Godly King Realm powerhouses. Alright, bring these 2 people back to the small courtyard, and carry out the labor reform according to Senior. Let them follow me to dust. Elder Zhui said. Yes, Boss Zhui, we'll bring them back now. The God Kings at the side hurriedly nodded and carried the 2 of them, preparing to leave. Oh right, why did the 3 of you barge into my courtyard? Elder Zhui looked at the 3 of them and frowned. Anyone could tell that the 3 of them had escaped into his courtyard to avoid being chased. If it weren't for these 3 people, the courtyard wouldn't have been in trouble. Seeing Elder Zhui staring at them coldly, the 3 of them opened their hearing again, not knowing how to explain. This person in front of him was only at the Mahayana realm, but he could actually become the boss of more than 10 divine kings. What kind of identity was this? What kind of expert was this? Moreover, it seemed that the courtyard they had hidden in was the courtyard of this expert. Senior, we had no choice but to hide here in a hurry. Please forgive us. The village chief hurriedly opened his mouth to beg for forgiveness. Forgive. Come back with me to collect dust. 1 foot 11 inches let you leave after the meeting. Elder Zhui looked at the 3 people in front of him, and said in a deep voice. This courtyard was built overnight with a fingernail's worth of dust that he had painstakingly obtained from the senior. He had wanted to use it as a base, but now it had been destroyed. No matter who was chasing after who, he had suffered the greatest loss. Yes. Village chief and the other 2 nodded repeatedly and followed behind the crowd. Senior is really a good person. He actually only asked us to dust him. And Wang Luoying said. That's right. One don't know what kind of expert this is. Because of us, his magic treasure was damaged. He didn't blame us too much. On the contrary, he only asked us to dust it. Village chief said. Yes, we're simply lucky. Wang Tianbao said gratefully. However, just as he finished speaking, a huge divine dog suddenly appeared in his sea of consciousness. Under the feet of the divine dog, the chess lines were dense, and the dazzling stars in the universe turned into chess pieces. The divine dog opened its bloody mouth, as if it wanted to devour the sky and the moon. It stared coldly at Wang Tianbao and asked in a deep voice, Dogs hit luck? Say another word. Alpha's Dharma stared at Wang Tianbao. You. Wang Tianbao looked at the divine dog that had suddenly appeared in his divine sense in shock. His face was filled with disbelief. His entire body trembled, and he did not dare to move at all. It was as if he would be swallowed by the divine dog in front of him in an instant if he moved. Senior, I'm just saying that we're lucky. Wang Tianbao hurriedly explained. Alpha snorted coldly and left in an instant. Tianbao, what's wrong? Wang Luoying hurriedly asked. Wang Tianbao wiped the cold sweat off his forehead and shook his head hurriedly. Nothing, nothing. I just had hysteria just now. Wang Tianbao didn't dare to speak of what had just happened. It was too terrifying. That divine dog was the most terrifying existence he had ever seen. It would be good if he knew this matter by heart. Sometimes the more he knew, the more dangerous it was. He could not bring this danger to the people around him. Oh, then let's follow them in. It's in this small courtyard. Wang Luoying pulled Wang Tianbao's sleeve and hurriedly followed Elder Zhui and the others. Leave these two here first. We'll talk about it when they wake up. After Elder Zhui gave his orders, Divine King Red Cloud threw Shiman Booby and the other two on the ground. Then, those who were going to dust and those who were going to carry bricks went to carry bricks. Village Chief and the other two stared fixedly at the dozen or so godly kings, and their faces revealed incomparably shocked expressions. Senior God King, are you going to collect the dust? Wang Luoying could not help but ask. This was a godly king, an invincible existence in the divine realm. It's good to fight dust, it's wonderful to fight dust. I'll help you fight dust later. I have high hopes for you. God King Black Heaven said with a smile. I don't beat dust. There's a future before I move bricks. Mu Xianglong shook his head and moved another brick. This village chief, Wang Luoying, and Wang Tianbao did not know what to say. An awe-inspiring existence in the divine realm was actually slashing ashes and moving bricks. It was simply inconceivable. However, when they thought about how they were going to dust soon, they suddenly felt that this seemed to be a good thing. At least they could get to know the godly king powerhouses. Wait here, I'll get you some tools. Elder Zhui ordered the three of them to stand where they were while he left to get the tools. Village Chief and the other two followed Elder Zhui's instructions and stood still. However, the three of them were slowly sizing up the small courtyard from the corner of their eyes. Human curiosity was endless. Although they knew that Elder Zhui was powerful, there shouldn't be so many godly kings who were dead set on fighting him, right? Wang Tianbao was also sizing him up. His gaze involuntarily landed on the side of the kennel. In an instant his body shook. He actually saw a dog playing chess. Yes. Wang Tianbao stammered and hurriedly rubbed his eyes. He was more willing to believe that he had seen wrongly. However, when he opened his eyes again, he saw that it was still the same divine hound. At this moment, the divine dog was lying on the ground, drawing a chessboard under its feet, playing by itself. Chapter 231, Chapter 231. Brother Wushuang, let me bandage it for you. _I. Chapter 231. Brother Wushuang, let me bandage it for you. _I. What is it? Wang Luoying frowned and looked in the direction of Wang Tianbao. A dog that can play chess. So cute. Wang Luoying couldn't help but say in surprise. Don't talk nonsense. Wang Tianbao was shocked. He hurriedly bowed to Alpha and apologized. Senior, I'm sorry. She can't speak. Please don't be angry. Wang Tianbao hurriedly apologized. Cold sweat trickled down his forehead. He was indeed scared silly by Wang Luoying's words. The person in front of him was a divine dog. Tianbao, what are you doing? Why did you suddenly apologize to the puppy? Wang Luoying could not help but ask curiously. Luoying, stop talking. This is Senior Divine Hound. You can't be impudent in front of Senior. Wang Tianbao hurriedly reminded. Divine Hound. Wang Luoying frowned and looked at Wang Tianbao in confusion. Then she looked at Alpha lying on the ground and shook her head. At this moment, Elder Zhui walked over with 3 shovels. Follow me to dust. Elder Zhui brought the 3 of them to the backyard. In the courtyard, the golden arowana was leisurely diving, the pony was hiding in some grass, and Alpha was scratching his head, staring at the chessboard in a daze. Phoenix remained motionless in the chicken coop. The white tiger was on the roof, enjoying the sunlight. Sigh, why did Senior go to sleep again? One still wanted to chat with Senior. Chu Iran walked out, holding the pastries she had learned from Mu Jiahuang, ready to let Xiao Changtian try them. Unfortunately, Xiao Changtian went back to his room to sleep. Chu Iran sat alone on the stone bench, looking up at the sky. She rested her chin on her hands, her face filled with the sorrow of a young girl. In the Great Sun sect, a huge black tortoise Dharma idol was as high as the sky, and endless seawater poured down from its body. Its aura was terrifying. A monkey walked out from the primordial chaos with a huge godly medal in his hand. He looked majestic and dignified. The two of them were staring at each other. Damn turtle, do you know first come first serve? I was the one who went to find Taoist Master De Yang first. Monkey said angrily as he stabbed the heaven-raising rod in his hand at Black Tortoise. So what if you came first? When did the three of us not go out together? But Master only hit me. Taoist Big Sun must come with me. The Black Tortoise retorted, and the boundless seawater around it enveloped the big stick. Bang! The two extreme forces collided in space, causing the space to tremble. Fatty Rongrong directly hugged Great Sun Jinren, shivering to the side. Taoist De Yang's face turned red from being hugged, and he found it hard to breathe. Perfected Zhongxian, and the others had already led the disciples of Great Sun sect away. The Black Tortoise and the monkey were fighting. Even the aftershock could completely tear the space apart. How could they dare to stay? Taoist Big Sun, tell me, who are you going with? The Black Tortoise stretched out its turtle head and looked at the Great Sun Immortal. You choose. Monkey snorted coldly and said coldly. HJH. Big Sun Jinren was being hugged by Fatty Rongrong. He couldn't even breathe. How could he still speak? Damn turtle, you still dare to threaten me? I've long disliked you. I'll stab you to death. Monkey held the large metal rod with both hands and stroked it. The object in his hand began to grow larger and larger, directly breaking through the Black Tortoise's seawater, as if it had penetrated a thin membrane, and stabbed towards the Black Tortoise's head. Bump! Damn monkey, are you serious? This Sea King won't stand on ceremony with you. Seeing that monkey was about to stab him with the metal rod, Black Tortoise stuck its head and four legs into the turtle shell and crashed into monkey. Clang! Clang! The loud sound was like a great bell, and the entire Daong town was enveloped in this sound. It was incomparably shocking. Fatty Rongrong and Great Sun Jinren hugged even tighter, directly shrinking into two balls, squatting in a corner. On a snowy plateau, Li Wushuang was covered in blood and her face was pale. There was only a bonfire beside her. The light from the bonfire highlighted his pale face, proving that he was extremely weak. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! I actually became a loner again. Li Wushuang cursed. He had no choice but to return to the divine world and hide in a barren land. The cold wind outside the cave was enough to freeze him to death. The environment here was too harsh. However, in order to survive, there was no other way. I can't rely on anyone. Relying on the heavens and the earth is never as good as relying on myself. If I had the cultivation of a god king, one would go and rule the divine world now. Li Wushuang gritted her teeth and cursed. However, the pain from her body made her face even paler and her aura weaker. Sigh! Li Wushuang sighed helplessly and turned to look at the purple-robed woman. That night, he had been fleeing for his life on the Tianyuan continent when he had passed by a small, dilapidated temple. In the small temple, the woman was pestered by a few hooligans. She beat them away, and the woman had no way to repay them. She gave herself to them. That night. Wonderful. Li Wushuang narrowed her eyes as she thought about what happened that night. The two large snowy mountains were uneven, and the soft murmuring sounds, it left him with an endless aftertaste. Just as he was sighing with emotion, the purple-robed woman woke up. Brother Wushuang, where are we? The woman said in a coquettish voice. She pretended to be dizzy and leaned on Li Wushuang's shoulder like a little bird. All, feeling the woman's aura, peerlessly felt a surge of impulse throughout his body. Yin we're in the divine world. We've returned to the divine world. Li Wushuang said with a smile. Divine world? Brother Wushuang is so awesome. Nailin Yin smiled charmingly at the side, causing Li Wushuang to be filled with smiles. But brother Wushuang, why are we in the cave? It's so cold. As he spoke, he burrowed into Li Wushuang's arms. Heh, Yin, this is just a temporary measure, don't worry, I'll take you out. Li Wushuang said. All right, I believe in brother Wushuang. Nailin Yin snuggled into Li Wushuang's embrace as she spoke softly. However, what Li Wushuang didn't notice was that in the depths of Nailin Yan's eyes, a look of disdain flashed past. That night, she had only found a few local cultivators and wanted to use their beauty to exchange for conditions. However, Li Wushuang had easily killed those tribulation-passing cultivators. She instantly understood that Li Wushuang was also a powerful person. In any case, it would be a waste not to use it. He would pay a little price to let such an expert be his big hand. The deal was simply too cost-effective. Brother Wushuang, let me bandage your wound. Chapter 232. Chapter 232. The Lord of the Divine Court. Chapter 232. The Lord of the Divine Court. All right. Yenner is so nice. Li Wushuang looked at Nailin Yen, who was wrapped around her waist, and said with a face full of happiness. Nailin Yan's expression was indifferent. She lowered her head, and her expression instantly turned into disgust as she began to bandage Li Wushuang's wounds. Kiki, this is really interesting. What a pair of B** stars. Suddenly, an old voice sounded from within the cave, reprimanding angrily. Hearing the voice, Li Wushuang and Nailin Yin were so frightened that they stood up. They didn't even notice the presence of others. Moreover, the cave in front of him was only a very small cave. He could tell who was in the cave at a glance. Hee, with just you guys, it's still impossible for you to see me. You guys are too weak. The old voice mocked. Brother Wushuang, I am so scared. Nailin Yin sensed danger and quickly hid behind Li Wushuang. Although Li Wushuang was afraid, she still looked at the cave in front of her and shouted angrily. Humph, you're pretending to be a ghost. Come out. As she spoke, she stretched out her hand and struck out at the cave in front of her. Bang! As soon as he struck out with his palm, the entire cave began to shake violently. Even the stone walls in front of him began to fall. However, there was no sign of any aura. He's just a Supreme God Realm expert. Is this the attitude he has when facing a God Emperor Realm expert? Right at this moment, a black figure quietly appeared from the void. His face was filled with anger. The moment he appeared, the space in front of him seemed to be unable to withstand his might. It began to distort and tremble. Plop! Li Wushuang and Nailin Yin immediately knelt down in front of this terrifying aura. Greetings, Divine Emperor. Li Wushuang said in horror. A Divine Emperor was a powerhouse above a Divine King. He could even begin to resonate with the heavenly Tao of the Divine World. Just the aura alone made the two of them unable to move and willing to kneel. This was the will of a great Tao. Unparalleled terror. You dare to barge into the place where I cultivate in seclusion. The two of you are quite bold. The black-robed deity emperor said angrily. His face was filled with incomparable anger. Divine Emperor, please spare our lives. The two of us didn't know that this was your territory. We'll leave now. Li Wushuang hurriedly begged for mercy, her face filled with fear. If the Divine Emperor wanted to kill the two of them, it would be as easy as crushing two ants. If I wanted to kill you, I would have killed you long ago. You're just two ants. However, I'm still in seclusion. Hand this thing to Divine King Xianyu. He'll naturally understand when the time comes. As for the power you want, that's simple. As the Emperor spoke, a black light shone down on Li Wushuang's head. Li Wushuang's strength suddenly increased. Buzz! Li Wushuang's aura was trembling. She had broken through from the Hierarch realm to the King God realm. In fact, during this process, there was not even a lightning tribulation. I broke through to the God King realm. Li Wushuang was shocked. She didn't expect him to break through to the God King realm so easily. Thank you, Divine Emperor. Thank you, Divine Emperor. Li Wushuang kneeled in front of the black-robed emperor with a grateful expression. Now that she had reached the king god realm, she could finally take revenge. He wanted to find that skeleton god and kill him, to relieve the hatred in his heart. Go! The black-robed emperor waved his hand, and Li Wuxia and the others disappeared in an instant. They had already left the snowy plateau. After the two of them left, the black-robed deity emperor's face darkened and he said slowly, "The great era is about to arrive. It's rumored that the Lord of the Divine Court has already reincarnated. If anyone can devour his fate, then I can dominate the entire divine world. However, this venerable self has seized the initiative. I'm definitely going to win this round." The black-clothed deity emperor laughed, and his figure gradually disappeared along with his laughter. On the other side, Wang Miaoshu was looking for a flower. According to Xiao Changtian's description, this flower should be growing in an extremely dark place. Yangqi was scarce. According to logic, this flower should grow in this place. Wang Miaoshu looked at the mountain in front of him. It was completely shady, and the sunlight could not be refracted, so it looked gloomy. However, there were no flowers he was looking for in this place. On the contrary, instead, there was a burst of fragrant wind, and beautiful women who came to pick flowers everywhere. Each of them was extremely beautiful, with perfect figures. So handsome. Wow. Look, there's someone here with 8-pack abs. What a tough body. It should be great, right? Young master, what's your name? What are you doing here? All of them were women. They surrounded Wang Miaoshu curiously and pointed at him. He had no choice. This kind of muscle with lines was too charming. Everyone, I advise you not to touch me. You have to learn to respect yourselves. Wang Miaoshu frowned and his face darkened. He was actually teased by a group of women. How could he tolerate this? Which old man could endure such humiliation? Ayo, aren't one just looking at your muscles? Why are you so stingy? That's right, that's right. We women didn't say anything. You're a man, and you're still embarrassed? Hee, this person is really interesting. The beautiful women teased him one by one. Wang Miaoshu felt humiliated. He didn't even get the least bit of respect. Why could these women point at him and touch him? He couldn't bear it. He had to return it. You can't blame me for this. Wang Miaoshu smiled and took out a green ceramic bottle. The porcelain bottle was engraved with patterns. Hee, I'll make you beg me obediently later. Wang Miaoshu chuckled and opened the green porcelain bottle. A gray smoke came out of the porcelain bottle. As the smoke appeared, the group of women did not know what was going on, because they didn't feel anything unusual. Hee, just this. A woman smiled faintly and teased. However, at the next moment, they were stunned. They found that their bodies were burning hot and itchy, accompanied by a kind of pain, as if they were bitten by ants. Chapter 233, Chapter 233, Assassinating Chuyai Renli. Chapter 233, Assassinating Chuyai Renli. What's going on? What did you do to us? Oh, I'm so itchy. Someone help me. Scratch me. Ah, it hurts. A group of women anxiously stood on the spot and jumped around. They were itchy and painful. They wanted to reach out to scratch, but once their hands touched their skin would start to hurt violently. What have you done to us? You poisoned us. You poisoned us. It's the green smoke from before. One of the women reacted, and her face revealed a terrified expression. Damn it, you actually dared to poison us. Are you courting death? Many women immediately released their auras and enveloped Wang Miaoshu. However, it was useless. All the women were extremely powerful. Their powerful auras gathered together, like a hurricane on the sea. Their terrifying auras were about to tear everything apart. Even the trees, wildflowers, grass, and other plants beside him were all bent down. Some of the rocks even began to crack. However, Wang Miaoshu merely stood on the spot like a huge mountain, unmoving. How is that possible? Seeing this scene, the female cultivators were all shocked, and their faces were filled with fear. They could not believe that Wang Miaoshu was unaffected by their attacks. It was completely similar to his normal state. You people are so troublesome. Wang Miaoshu snorted coldly. He raised his hand and threw a punch at the aura attacks of the many great empresses. Bang! In an instant, the aura attacks of those women seemed to have collapsed. The powerful force of Wang Miaoshu's punch sent many women flying with a calm expression. During this period, he consumed all kinds of herbs in the small courtyard, and even used his master's hoe to weed. The strength of his physical body had completely increased by a level. Now these women were like ants in front of him. Of course, he would not attack ordinary people. However, these women were actually pointing at him and teasing him. This was absolutely intolerable. Sob, 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 I beg you, I'm so itchy. Let me go. We were wrong before. We apologize to you and beg you to let us go. The group of female cultivators could not stand the itching and pain on their bodies, and hurriedly begged Wang Miaoshu for mercy. Now you know how to beg. This is just a small punishment. As Wang Miaoshu spoke, he took out a green porcelain bottle. White smoke came out of the porcelain bottle and spread out. Those women were wrapped in white smoke. Soon after, their bodies gradually returned to normal. I'm not itchy anymore. I'm not in pain anymore. Quote. How magical. Quote. The female cultivators of the Void Holy Land all revealed happy expressions because the pain and itching on their bodies had completely disappeared. What did you do to us? They looked at Wang Miaoshu curiously, their faces revealing a puzzled expression. It's just some gas that numbs the nerves. It's nothing. Doctors have both medical and poison skills. Wang Miaoshu waved his hand. These were all things he had learned from his master's medical skills. However, hearing that Wang Miaoshu knew medicine, the expressions of the women from the Void Holy Land changed. You know medicine? That's great. Then can you go and save her with us? Our sect master she has been suffering from some hidden ailments recently, but she has been unable to find a cure for them after looking for countless famous doctors. Can you help our sect master? A supreme god realm expert with fluffy hair and a light yellow dress walked over with an expectant look on his face. No one could casually poison them, but this muscular man in front of him could. I'm sorry, I don't have time. Wang Miaoshu shook his head. The time his master gave him was half a month, because this flower needed to be brewed in the past. A third of the time had already passed. He had to find this flower first. Moreover, the sect master of the Rukong Holy Land was a god king realm cultivator. He would definitely not die in a short period of time. It wouldn't be too late for him to come back for treatment after he picked that flower. After saying that, he prepared to leave. We can give you any conditions you want. Seeing that Wang Miaoshu was about to leave, the yellow skirt hierarch hurriedly spoke again, wanting to keep Wang Miaoshu. I don't have time now, unless you can help me find this flower. Wang Miao paused. Wang Miaoshu said as he took out the note Xiao Changtian gave him. On the paper, Xiao Changtian had drawn the general appearance and characteristics of the flower. It was a red-blue flower. One side bloomed like a burning fire. One side was icy blue, as if it was 10,000 years old ice. A flower perfectly contained the two extreme powers of ice and fire. Moreover, this flower must be rich in extreme energy. This flower is a treasure of our Rukong Holy Land. Hierarch God Yellow Dress stared at the image in front of her, and her face revealed a look of joy. This flower was a treasure of their void sacred land. Like an empty lotus, Divine Lord Yellow Dress looked at the sky with a happy expression. Really? Wang Miaoshu was also slightly stunned, and her face revealed a look of bewilderment. The price of lying is not small. Are you sure that there is such a flower in the Void Holy Land? Wang Miaoshu confirmed again. That's right, so many of us sisters can testify. Sisters, don't you think so? Hierarch God Yellow Dress looked at the group of women behind her with a pleasantly surprised expression. Yes. The group of disciples behind him answered in unison. Senior, as long as you cure our God King, you can take the Void Lotus. Hierarch Yellow Dress continued. Is that so? Wang Miaoshu thought for a moment and nodded. He was going to save people and complete his master's mission at the same time. This trip was fine. Senior, please. Under the lead of the yellow-dressed supreme god, Wang Miaoshu was escorted to the empty Holy Land. Meanwhile, in the courtyard, the heavily injured and unconscious Seven Zither God King and Shiman Bubi also woke up. Where is this place? Invincible Westgate opened his eyes and sized up the courtyard. Seven Zither patted the dust away, his face filled with terror. In his mind, he was still thinking about how his Zither had been split in half by Elder Zhui. Terrifying. Why is there such a terrifying existence in the lower realm? God King Seven Zither was puzzled. He looked at the stone table and stone stool beside him, and wanted to sit down to think. However, he forgot to look over, and saw a familiar figure. That voice was holding his chin with both hands, and looking up at the blue sky in a daze. The person the demon god asked me to kill. Seven Zither was taken aback before his expression turned cold. The quintessential essence in his palms transformed into saber light as killing intent surged. Chapter 234 Chapter 234. Someone hit the kid alive. Chapter 234. Someone hit the kid alive. Divine King Seven Zither stared at Chu Iran. She was only in the Tribulation Transcendence realm, and was still distracted. He wanted to kill her with a single palm strike. When you wake up, come and get rid of the dust. However, just as he was about to take action, Elder Zhui kicked him in the butt, knocking him to the ground. Damn it, the two of you destroyed my courtyard. Hurry up and get up and work for me. Elder Zhui cursed. Those godly monarchs were all not working hard. Now, the construction period given by the senior had been completely delayed by more than 10 days. Although senior didn't care, he did. Senior had instructed him to do such a big thing, so he couldn't disappoint him. Therefore, Elder Zhui was now chasing after everyone without stopping. You still dare to glare at me? Are you looking for a beating? Elder Zhui stared at Shiman Bubi before slapping his neck. During this period of time, Elder Zhui had been doing all kinds of work, such as dust making, brick moving, and carpentry. The strength in his hands was not something that invincible Westgate could withstand. Bubi Shiman was slapped to the ground and let out a painful scream. Following that, he was thrown over along with Seven Zither Divine King, and the other two to be turned into dust. How could Shiman Bubi and Seven Zither Divine King dare to disobey? They hurriedly bent down and picked up the shovel on the ground, preparing to dust it. However, when the two of them reached for the shovel, they realized that they couldn't lift it at all. What happened? This is a top-notch divine weapon. Puzzled, invincible Westgate gripped the shovel with both hands, wanting to exert force. However, the heavy shovel made him use almost all of his strength before he could pick it up completely. It was the same for Seven Zither. The two of them looked at each other and saw fear and shock in each other's eyes. They were dignified divine kings, but now, they actually could not even lift a shovel. If word got out, who in the entire divine realm would believe that? Who would dare to believe it? Be careful. If you dare to dawdle again, don't blame me for lashing you with my whip. You two little thieves. This is the price you have to pay for tearing down our courtyard. Hurry up. Elder Zhui urged fiercely from behind the two of them. Seven Zither God King and Shiman Bubi hurriedly gritted their teeth and beat the dust. The courtyard was still quiet and peaceful. Only Chu Iran was still staring blankly at the sky. What's wrong? Are you bored? Just then, Xiao Changtian's voice rang out from behind Chu Iran. Senior. Hearing Xiao Changtian's voice, Chu Iran's face lit up. She turned around and threw herself into Xiao Changtian's arms. You. What are you doing? Xiao Changtian hurriedly let go of his hands and retreated. There were so many people here. Wouldn't it be very embarrassing if he fainted again, because his blood was boiling? Moreover, he had to be careful. How could he take it lying down when Chu Iran came at him like this? He senior, just a hug. Chu Iran smiled faintly, a blissful expression appearing on her face. It was as if every time she got close to Xiao Changtian, her heart would feel warm. That feeling made him extremely fond of it. Not even a hug. Remember, you're still a virgin. You have to know how to respect the great and mighty in the future, okay? Xiao Changtian started to teach him with a serious face. He was really worried that if Chu Iren met someone who was so passionate towards her and threw herself into someone else's arms, she would definitely suffer. Teaching must be done well. Oh, I don't hug others either. Chu Iren mumbled with her head lowered, looking extremely adorable. Forget it, forget it. Xiao Changtian waved his hand, and Chu Iren returned to her own courtyard. She had been away from home for many years, so it was only natural that she would feel lonely. He hadn't really taken care of Chu Iren before. How about this? I'll take you out for an autumn outing, Xiao Changtian said with a smile. During this period of time, the autumn weather was clear and refreshing, and the temperature had returned a little. It happened to be noon. It was not bad to go out for an autumn outing, roast meat and fish. It was a good time for Chu Iren to relax. Autumn outing. Yay! Although Chu Iren didn't know what the autumn outing meant, she felt very safe being able to follow her senior. She felt extremely safe. Wait for me to call Jiao and bring these animals along for the autumn outing. Xiao Changtian finished all the instructions, and Mu Jiuhuang brought Xiao Ma and carried the transparent tank of the golden arowana. As for the white tiger, it was in Xiao Changtian's arms. Alpha led the way, and the old hen followed beside Alpha. At the same time, Xiao Changtian stored all the seasonings, food, carpet, and so on needed for the autumn outing into the special interspatial ring that the Great Sun Immortal had given him. The Great Sun Immortal is really thoughtful. He knows that one don't have any Zhen Yuan and can't use the interspatial ring. So he specially made an interspatial ring for me that doesn't require Zhen Yuan. Such a good immortal cultivator. I can't let the Great Sun Immortal give me something for free. Draw another autumn scenery for the Great Sun Immortal. Xiao Changtian muttered to himself. Soon they arrived at the back mountain outside Dayang town. There was a lake here. The water was half murky, and there were many fish swimming in it. Were there wild geese flying over and eagles crying? Jiao go prepare the barbecue. It'll be hard, Xiao Changtian ordered. Yes, master. Mu Jiuhuang nodded and replied respectfully. Senior, what should I do then? Chu Iren asked, puzzled. Let me teach you how to fly a kite, Xiao Changtian said lightly. Kite? Chu Iren was slightly puzzled. She had never heard of flying a kite before. You'll know later. Xiao Changtian smiled and took out a black string and a huge eagle-shaped kite from his ring. Next, you pull the string and run on the spot, letting the kite fly with the wind, Xiao Changtian explained slowly. Chu Iren listened attentively from the side. Senior, I know. Chu Iren listened attentively. After Xiao Changtian's explanation, she picked up her kite, pulled on the string, and started running. Phew! As the strong wind blew, the kite flew high in the sky. Hee, you're very smart, Xiao Changtian praised. Of course. Hee. Chu Iren's face lit up with joy at Xiao Changtian's praise. Chu Iren was running on the mountaintop with the kite in her hand, feeling extremely happy. However, suddenly, the kite seemed to have hit someone, and a huge black shadow fell from the sky. Chapter 235, Chapter 235. Let's go back to have tea. _I. Chapter 235. Let's go back to have tea. _I. All. The figure let out a miserable cry and smashed a huge hole in the ground. Oh my god! Ghost! Shocked, Chu Iren hid behind Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian was also slightly shocked. This person seemed to have hit a kite and fell from the sky. In other words, this person was flying. It could fly. That was an immortal cultivator. Did he get into trouble? Xiao Changtian was extremely confused and worried. Immortal cultivators could easily kill him. Let's retreat first, Xiao Changtian said lightly. Chu Iren nodded and walked away. Xiao Changtian wanted to leave as well, but the black figure had already stood up from the hole. Stop! The figure let out a low voice, which sounded extremely angry. He did not expect to see a kite while he was flying. Initially, he didn't care much about it. How could a kite block his way? He was just about to directly transmigrate over. It was just a kite anyway. He could just smash it with a palm. However, as he flew by himself and approached the edge of the kite, he slapped out with his palm, ready to smash the kite into pieces. The kite did not move at all. His full-powered palm strike actually did not shake the kite at all. His entire body directly collided with the kite and instantly fell down. What are you doing? Chu Yiren stood behind Xiao Changtian, her face filled with confusion. Xiao Changtian also looked at the person in front of him. The person in front of him looked slightly bloated from afar. Especially that stomach, it was extremely obvious. He was dressed in a black robe and was 8 feet tall. He did look intimidating. But at this moment, that person's face was bruised and swollen, and it looked like a pig's head. Did you get hit by a kite? Xiao Changtian frowned. Was this person really a cultivator? How could it be hit by his paper kite? Wasn't he too weak? Could it be that a cultivator, who has just entered the sect, is learning the sword kinesis flying technique? Xiao Changtian frowned. In the TV series he watched in his previous life, it was all like this. Since he was a new disciple, there was no need to worry. No, nothing. I just wanted to ask you what material your kites are made of. The black-robed man asked. It's made of paper. What's wrong? Xiao Changtian said in a neither servile nor overbearing manner. Since he was an ordinary cultivator, who had just entered the sect, he should be able to communicate with him. What? Paper? The black-robed man's face revealed a look of disbelief. Who is this person in front of me? My identity cannot be exposed. In order to avoid those people from the divine world, I came to the lower realm. The man in black stared at Xiao Changtian, trying to see through his cultivation. However, he realized that Xiao Changtian was just an ordinary mortal. His mood became more and more solemn. However, how could a mortal possess a top-notch divine artifact like a kite? Even in his divine court, there was probably no divine artifact that could compare to it. No, I can't. The person in front of him was definitely not a mortal. He's an old monster who has descended to the mortal world. The black-robed man became more and more frightened. In his eyes, Xiao Changtian was also here to steal his luck, but he was hiding his identity. No, I've already divided myself into several parts and escaped to different places. One definitely can't be caught in the lower realm. The black-robed man thought to himself. Immediately, the idea of escaping appeared in his mind. I'll run. The black-robed man turned into a wisp of smoke and fled instantly. He did not want to be caught. If he was caught, he would not be able to rebuild the divine court again. Why did he run? Chu Yiren frowned. Senior didn't say anything about killing him. Xiao Changtian was shocked. Could it be that this person saw that he couldn't defeat the 3 of them alone, so he went back to the sect to ask for reinforcements? Thinking of this, Xiao Changtian was shocked. He still had the ability to fight against this ordinary cultivator, but if he let this cultivator go back and call for help, it would be troublesome. At that time, the speed of the 3 of them escaping would definitely not be as fast as the speed of the cultivators flying. Even if he asked for help from the Great Sun Immortal, he might not be able to make it in time. We have to capture this person. We can't let him go back and ask for help. Xiao Changtian thought. Then his expression froze and he looked at Alpha. Alpha, go chase him. Alpha had hunted in the Black Forest. There was no need to worry about hunting down an ordinary cultivator now. Woof! Hearing that, Alpha instantly turned his momentum to one side. His 4 legs seemed to have transformed into light speed, as he instantly rushed towards the black-robed man in front of him. Woof woof! Hearing the barking, the man in black wanted to turn his head to take a look. But suddenly, in his mind, a huge divine dog phantom appeared directly. Beneath the feet of the divine dog were the vast stars in the sky, with the vast stars as chess pieces and the boundless galaxy as a chessboard. It opened its bloody mouth, as if it wanted to swallow the sky and the moon. The man in black was so frightened that he fell to the ground, and did not dare to move. As the lord of the divine court, he knew very well that this was the heaven-swallowing dog. The legendary divine beast, the heaven-swallowing dog. How is that possible? The heaven-swallowing dog had already disappeared before the miracle. Why is it in the lower realm? The lord of the divine court was already scared silly. Even at his peak, he was no match for the heaven-swallowing dog. Don't kill me. The man in black looked at the heaven-swallowing dog in front of him, and said in panic. With his current state, even if he wanted to escape he couldn't. Xiao Changtian heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the cultivator in front of him fall to the ground in fear. It was rare for a cultivator to be frightened by one. However, this was enough to show that the person in front of him was really a beginner immortal cultivator who had not even learned how to fly on a sword. Xiao Changtian immediately calmed down. There was still room for negotiation. As long as he brought this person back, and let the great sun immortal act as a mediator to resolve the conflict between the two sides, then this matter could be reduced to a small matter. Alpha, don't mess around. Go away. Xiao Changtian smiled and walked over, pretending to chase Alpha away. He walked up to the Lord of the Court of Gods. Don't be afraid. Alpha hasn't been trained much. We won't kill you. We just want to invite you back for a cup of tea. Get up, Xiao Changtian said lightly. However, when the Lord of the Divine Court looked at Xiao Changtian, he became even more terrified. That was the heaven-swallowing dog, but in front of this person, it was actually so respectful. Who was this person in front of him? Just as the leader of the Divine Court was thinking, Xiao Changtian had already pulled him back. Let's go back and have some tea. Chapter 236. Chapter 236. I'll kill you, you filthy old turtlelai. Chapter 236. I'll kill you, you filthy old turtlelai. Xiao Changtian pulled the man in black with a smile on his face. Now, as long as he could bring this black-robed man back, everything would be fine. Let's go. One have good tea at home. Xiao Changtian said lightly, while pulling the arm of the Lord of the Divine Court. The master of the Divine Court was pulled by Xiao Changtian. He felt as if his arm was being strangled by the heavenly Tao. He couldn't resist at all. Even the circulation of the true essence in his body was directly restricted by the force from Xiao Changtian's hand. I can't use my cultivation. The master of the Divine Court was shocked. What kind of method was this? It was simply unimaginable. The bloodline of the highest law of the divine world flowed in his body, but he was actually unable to use it in front of this ordinary person. Even those old monsters couldn't do it. Who exactly are you? The Lord of the Divine Court was extremely puzzled and terrified at the same time. Such an expert had imprisoned him, but did not kill him directly. Could it be that he had other motives? The master of the Divine Court broke out in cold sweat. As for the autumn outing, it was completely ruined. Jiao, bring the roasted meat with you. You can still eat it when you go back. Xiao Changtian ordered. At the same time, Xiao Changtian sent a message to the Great Sun Immortal, asking him to come to his courtyard. Far away in the Great Sun sect, the Great Sun Immortal's face turned red from being hugged, and he found it difficult to breathe. Even the true essence in his body was stagnant. He and Fatty Rong Rong were squatting in a corner, their faces filled with fear. Sensing the destructive aura outside, the man and the bear were shivering. Damn turtle, I will stab you to death today. The Monkey King stared at the black tortoise in front of him, and bared his teeth. Stinky monkey, come on. Let's see who's afraid of who today, Black Tortoise said angrily. When the two divine beasts fought, even the space trembled and cracked. Until this moment, the ring of the Great Sun Immortal suddenly lit up. With the appearance of the light, the two great divine beasts in the middle of the battle seemed to have sensed it, and stopped in an instant. Soon after, the two divine beasts flew to the side of the Great Sun Immortal and hurriedly asked, "What did Master say?" The two divine beasts could sense that this was a message from Xiao Changtian. Sensing that the two immortal beasts were no longer fighting, Fatty Rong Rong released Great Sun Jinren. The great sun immortal then checked the contents of the communication ring and said, Senior asked me to make a trip. There's something I need to do. But Senior didn't tell me the details. The great sun immortal said respectfully, and even showed the news to the black tortoise and the monkey king. Seniors, then The great sun immortal looked at the black tortoise and the monkey king with a puzzled expression. He was seeking the opinion of black tortoise and monkey. He could either bring the 3 animals with him or go alone. No matter who he brought, he would offend another person. Boss monkey, let's go together. If we delay any longer, master will be angry. Fatty Rongrong also advised from the side. Humph. The green-haired turtle and monkey looked at each other with contempt, turning their faces away, riding on the shoulders of Fatty Rongrong, one on each side. Hee, then let's go. Seeing that the 2 divine beasts had finally stopped making a fuss, the Taoist master De Yong hurriedly flew towards the small courtyard. Come, drink some tea. Xiao Changtian sipped his tea as he spoke to the lord of the divine court. Yes, sir. The master of the divine court smiled embarrassedly and hurriedly picked up the teacup. In his heart, however, there was infinite fear. He didn't know what Xiao Changtian wanted to do. This was what the lord of the divine court was most afraid of. Just now, he used his gaze to size up the small courtyard and saw the few animals in passing. He was almost scared away. Phoenix, chaos ant, heaven swallowing dog, white tiger, golden dragon. Why are there so many divine beasts gathered in this lower realm? Could the rumors be true? The lord of the divine court frowned. This was a secret he knew when he was the lord of the divine court. When the divine beast descended into the world again, it meant that a new calamity would descend. That was the heavenly tribulation. He couldn't avoid it. Could it be that the person in front of me is the one who will bring disaster in the future? The lord of the divine court looked at Xiao Changtian and felt even more terrified. To be able to raise so many divine beasts had already exceeded his understanding. By the way, where are you from? How should I address you? Xiao Changtian looked at the leader of the divine court as he sipped his tea. Seriously, he was even more certain that this cultivator must have come from a small sect. Only cultivators from small sects who lacked confidence would be afraid. Since it was a small sect, it was even easier to deal with. Now, as long as he found out the background of the other party, knew which sect the cultivator was from, and waited for the great sun immortal to arrive, then all the matters would be resolved. Hearing this, the lord of the divine court's heart skipped a beat. Is the other party going to reveal his identity? Are you going to attack me? The lord of the divine court began to worry, but he knew that it was impossible to hide from such an expert. I'm Tion. The lord of the divine court replied immediately. I'm from above. My name is Tion. The lord of the divine court replied. Above? Tion. Xiao Changtian heard this and frowned slightly. What kind of place was up there? The name Tion was really weird. However, Xiao Changtian thought about it and felt that it should be referring to a sect. He didn't even know a few sects in the cultivation world, so it was normal for him not to know. Tion, come drink some more tea. Xiao Changtian then asked Jiao to pour a cup of tea for Tion. He calculated the time and realized that Taoist Master Deong should be here by now. As expected, just as Xiao Changtian was thinking this, outside the courtyard Taoist Master Deong walked in, with Fatty Rongrong and the other 2 by his side. You were looking for me? The great sun immortal said respectfully. Xiao Changtian and Tion both stared at Taoist Deong. Tion merely turned his head and was instantly shocked. With his eyesight, he instantly recognized that it was the divine beast Black Tortoise, the divine beast Spirit Monkey, and the Iron Eater. They were all legendary divine beasts. All right, the 3 of you. You didn't listen to me and want to run out, right? Xiao Changtian was furious. This was related to whether he could become an invincible existence in the future. Then, he locked onto the green-haired turtle and grabbed its tail, lifting it up. Xiao Changtian grabbed the green-haired turtle with one hand and slapped its shell with the other. He was furious. Wah! Fatty Rongrong was so frightened that she shrank back. Monkey was also shivering, not daring to move. The immortal De Jong narrowed his eyes and did not dare to look directly at him. The one who feared the most was still De Tian. He couldn't believe that the person before him was actually beating the divine beast Black Tortoise. Chapter 237 Chapter 237, Can I Stay? Chapter 237, Can I Stay? Bang 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 bang. Xiao Shangrian felt that it wasn't enough to vent his anger, so he threw the green-haired turtle on the ground and kicked it away. Old dirty turtle, you never let me worry. Xiao Shangrian cursed. It was good that these animals were immortal beasts. At least he could protect himself. However, when the system gave them to him, they were just ordinary and ordinary. They were ordered around by a mortal like him every day, and did not have any power at all. If he couldn't protect himself, he might be caught by that cultivator on the way, and be eaten alive. All right, go back to your own nest, Xiao Shangrian said speechlessly. The old dirty turtle was overjoyed when he heard this. He quickly ran back into the pond on his 4 legs, and submerged himself under the water. As for Fatty Rongrong and Monkey, they also slipped back. Only Fatty Rongrong had already shrunk into a ball due to fright, directly rolling back. Sigh, when will I be able to save myself from trouble? Xiao Shangrian shook his head helplessly. After that, he pulled Daoist's son to the side and explained everything about De Tian. Just this. After listening to Xiao Changtian's explanation, Arichi Great Sun Immortal raised his eyebrows. Could it be that Senior was too cautious, because he wanted to return to his original state? Xiao Shangrian looked at the Great Sun Immortal and raised his eyebrows. He said, That's it. As expected, the Great Sun Immortal is indeed the Great Sun Immortal. Every time something happens, there's almost nothing that the Great Sun Immortal can't solve. But that's true. Who asked Daoist De Jong to be an expert of Arichi Divine Realm? Xiao Shangrian thought. Don't worry, leave this matter to me. Please don't worry, the Great Sun Immortal said respectfully. Soon after, Daoist De Jong walked over and exchanged a few words with De Tian. Xiao Changtian, who was standing far away, was watching. However, very quickly, in just a few breaths, he saw De Tian standing up respectfully, staring at perfected Great Sun with a look of astonishment. Xiao Shangrian knew that it was a done deal. As for Daoist De Jong and De Tian, who were conversing, they were both shocked by the other party's identity. However, the one who was the most shocked was still De Tian. Are you saying that such a mighty figure is returning to his original state and refining his heart in the mortal world? De Tian truly found it hard to accept this point of view. Such a mighty figure actually captured him and sent him to call for help. Indeed, Senior, you've already completely forgotten your identity as an expert in Arichi mortal world. I reckon that you're just enjoying the peace of the mortal world / the Great Sun Immortal said. That's true. De Tian nodded. It was lonely at the top. He understood this very well. Only when one stood at the highest point would one understand how simple happiness in the mortal world was. After hearing Daoist De Yang's explanation, De Tian heaved a sigh of relief. It turned out that Senior didn't want to do anything to him. Everything was a misunderstanding. After understanding this matter, De Tian walked towards Xiao Changtian. Senior, it's a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. De Tian clasped his hands towards Xiao Changtian, his attitude extremely respectful. It's fine. It's good that the misunderstanding has been resolved. Xiao Changtian nodded with a faint smile on his face. There was really nothing that could not be solved when the Great Sun Immortal came out. Senior, I have a request. De Tian stammered. Tell me. One Xiao Shangrian nodded. De Tian replied. Well, I want to stay with you for a while. Is that okay? De Tian had a look of hope on his face, as though he really wanted to stay. As long as he could stay here, it was impossible for those experts of the divine world to capture him. As long as he did not gather all of them, Those old fellows in the divine world would never be able to deprive him of his luck. Stay for a while. Xiao Shangrian frowned. Why would Ditian want to stay here? These were the residences of mortals. Xiao Shangrian was puzzled. He rolled his eyes and looked at the immortal of Great Sunday. Suddenly, he realized something. I understand now. I wanted to learn from the great sun immortal. Xiao Shangrian nodded. This was also the reason. Ditian came from a small sect and didn't even know much about the sword control art. Now that he saw an expert like perfected Great Sun, he naturally admired him and hoped that he could learn a thing or two from him. However, he was also too embarrassed to speak directly to the immortal De Yang, so he found him to be the middleman. Sure. Don't worry and stay here for as long as you want. Xiao Shangrian nodded. Ditian was an immortal cultivator. If he could really learn a thing or two from Taoist Dayang, he would definitely become an expert of his generation. He was willing to give such a person a chance. When Ditian became a supreme expert, he would be grateful for his kindness. At that time, even if he didn't open the path of invincibility and grew old, he would still be able to receive some help. Thank you, senior, thank you. Ditian hurriedly thanked Xiao Changtian. Now, he was not only respectful to Xiao Changtian, but also grateful. Staying in senior's small courtyard was equivalent to all the dangers disappearing. However, you have to promise me one condition. Xiao Changtian spoke again. Senior, please speak. Ditian's expression was resolute. Being able to stay here with his senior was already a great opportunity. No matter what price he had to pay, he was willing to do it. I don't keep idle people here. Since you're staying, you'll eat and drink. A series of things. So, you need to pay the price. Xiao Shangrian said lightly. The price? Ditian wanted to directly take out a fragment from his own sleeve. This was the fragment of the Divine Court Order. In the future, as long as the Divine Court can be rebuilt, Senior will also be in the Divine Court. Moreover, the fragment contained a great amount of luck. It was enough to help an ordinary cultivator from the Tianyuan continent reach the God Emperor realm. What is this? A fragment? One don't want this. However, Xiao Changtian was not interested in the fragment at all. Although the fragment was a piece of jade, his appraisal skills were at the advanced level. But I don't like these things. Don't want this. Senior, this is the most valuable thing one have on me. I don't know what else I have. Ditian's heart sank. Senior, you're not even interested in the fragments of the Divine Court token. Could it be that he had no chance to stay here? Ditian was incomparably anxious. He frantically rummaged through his body, but he couldn't find anything. Alright, stop looking. I'm asking you to work. It just so happens that my small yard is being renovated. You can help with the work. Xiao Changtian waved his hands. He stared at Ditian's expression as he spoke. Help out. I can. Ditian nodded madly. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.